Live from Mortgage One Studios, Russ Clark with you. It's a Monday morning. Greg Wilkinson came in.
Yeah. Good morning.
It's nice seeing no golf today.
No golf today.
Oh, wow. How'd you do on Friday?
I did okay.
Oh,
yeah.
You had a good time.
We did. We did.
The weather's been weird.
Yeah, it's actually been, obviously pretty nice. Last night we sat outside. We have a TV outside, watch TV, turn the fire pit on, and so it was good.
Turn on the fire pit and the misters at the same time?
Yeah. No.
That's great. That's great. It's been, and these evenings and mornings have been wonderful. Have you been reading about this super El Nino?
No, I did see some high wind warnings.
Like California. 50 miles an hour. And stuff.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Apparently it's going to cause havoc, this El Nino. And for the next 6 months or so.
Yeah. Does Karen Bass have another trip to Africa planned?
She should. Boy, she's looking bad.
Yeah, drain the basins and plan a trip to Africa.
And anytime I hear about El Nino, I think of the water. Just like you talk about water.
Mm-hmm.
And I first heard about it when I worked in San Diego for Genuine Parts Company, Napa, corporate. They the division vice president at the time came out and said, there's an El Nino coming, stock up on wiper blades. I didn't know what the heck. Because in San Diego, we didn't sell wiper blades very often. It was
right.
Because we supported Yuma. That's how I got to know Yuma and everything.
Yeah.
We supported Yuma and all that with wiper blades. I said, oh, well, yeah, that's what Bill says. That's what we're doing. And some gun was right. That El Nino hit. I don't remember what year that was. It was in the 90s. And because I worked in San Diego 90 to 95. And it just kind of shocked me how much. I learned a lot of lessons from that. And when I owned the stores in Yuma, the Napa stores, El Nino was coming. I bought cases of wiper blades.
Yeah.
And normally a Napa store would normally stock, 1 or 2 pairs of every different size. You don't sell that many.
Right.
I had cases. I had, 50, 60 pairs and some. Sold everything.
Wow.
Everything. Just went. I said, thank you, Bill. It was a great information.
Well, Yuma's, your wiper blades tend to degrade because of the heat and sun. And of course, we don't get any rain. So all of a sudden it rains and they
fall apart.
Your wiper blade don't work. Blades rip off.
Yeah, they do. The rubber stuck to the windshield. And yeah, that's not good. So it does associate with that, but that's not all El Nino does. Like right now, we're not going to get any moisture from it, apparently, to speak of. That comes later, like in fall. But Texas and the Midwest are going to get horrendous storms that include the high winds, the tornadoes, flooding, mayhem, cats and dogs playing together, the whole thing.
Well, that's talking about they had some big tornado out in Nebraska, I think, yesterday. So
I heard about that one. Well, apparently a lot more to come. The conditions are primed for it because this, and they call it a super El Nino because the heat that's coming out from the ocean is a surprisingly jumped up a lot more than anyone expected, and that. They said this one's going to be a great one. It's fun to watch a Weather Channel type show and see these guys all excited all of a sudden. They get pretty rowdy. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't get all excited about climate change or anything like that anymore.
That's because it doesn't really exist. The climate's changing like every season, but average temperatures are not stupid.
Yeah.
And all those people that complain, like the Al Gores of the world, none of his predictions even come close to true.
Well, and the UN backed off on some of their climate change.
That's right, they did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they backtracked. They're backtracking on it, and it's just now everybody's interpreting how much the UN backed off their predictions.
Yeah. The amount of money that we have spent as a country on climate change, I don't know what the figures are, but it's astronomical.
Yeah, it's got to be in the hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah, trillions maybe. Because so much of it is the military and government is a guinea pig for all of it, because they can just dictate that right away.
Yeah.
You guys do all climate change and use jet fuel that was made from moss, which is 20 times more expensive, but it's great for the planet, and moss people love it.
Yeah.
They just got nuts.
Yeah. Well, a few of the things that came out of it, were good. I mean, some of the things with solar energy, tend to be good, but they still have a problem is solar doesn't work at night. So you still have to have the same infrastructure.
I don't think they can fix it.
No, nope. I don't think so. But yeah, so now they're looking at batteries and all this stuff.
That's a potential fix, actually, to make the system work anyway. And they do that more in Australia. There's more off-grid stuff. And of course we have that mine that's off-grid. What's the name of it? Out there on Highway 14. I'll think of it a little bit, but the whole mine and all that. And that's got 20 buildings 50, 60 buildings out there, museum.
Okay. I have not been out there, but yeah.
Oh, Alan, the one that built all that, he doesn't even have power going to it. There is no power.
Yeah.
He has to be solar
panels and batteries.
And he scavenged it all. People were solar panels quit working and they were going to dump them. He said, I'll take them.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of times burned out diodes and stuff, and he fixes them. And then he put in a small trailer off a tractor trailer. That's a cooling one.
Yeah.
And put in his own battery packs of lead acid type batteries. And he runs the whole thing, including his own house, Olympic swimming pool, the whole museum, all off of that with Castle Dome.
Castle Dome. Yeah.
Did she just tell you?
She did.
Oh, okay.
Alan Armstrong. Yeah.
Yeah. It hit me when it went beep. I said, it's Castle Dome. I don't know why. Yeah. Alan's a really nice, he's a great guy to get to know. He's eccentric. Yeah. He loves living out in the desert. He's from San Francisco. Okay. His parents ran a very successful business. He had plenty of cash to go out and buy the desert. And he went out here and just loves being a historian, putting these buildings back together as they were historically.
Yeah.
It's just a great guy. And then he learned how to do solar.
Yeah.
Taught himself.
Wow.
I know, because I've been inside and he shows me the burn marks on the wall where he crossed the wires. Don't do that. Don't cross the streams.
Setting up DC to AC. And
I don't know what he did, but it caused some sparks.
Yeah. Good thing you didn't get hurt.
Oh man, he's a nut. He'll dive in.
Yeah.
And he's so excited about what he does. When he bought the whole mine, they had to go through and make it safe, and he goes in and scrapes any loose rock out to make sure nothing falls on a guest. He said he'd wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and says, I just got to get back to it. I got to get back to it. He would just go ahead alone, 200 foot underground, and just start exploring, not telling anybody where he's at.
That part's not good.
No,
you have to find him.
Like, Alan, what are you doing out there, man?
Yeah.
But he just gets, he's so engaged in what he's done. It's infectious. As he describes the area, he wants to learn the history. So it's a great trip.
Yeah.
Particularly if you can get a private interview with Alan. He's a little bit eccentric and a little bit off.
Well, my understanding, he's like out of the hippie age.
Yeah, he is. He's a hippie
from Washington State and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And you'd think he was the janitor out there.
Well, he is.
He's probably all of it, man. He's the janitor. He's the money man, the whole bit. He does it all. Yeah. And there's classic cars out there too. Some of his old ones. He just parked them.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, those are his.
It'd be worth a trip going out there.
Oh, it is. It really is. I got to do the disclaimer real quick. All content presented on the Russ Clark Show, including statements made by guests, commentators, and callers, reflect the personal opinions of those individuals and is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. These views do not represent the official position of Mortgage One Studios, its owners, employees, affiliates, or partners. Mortgage One Studios does not endorse, verify, or guarantee the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements made by third parties during programming. That's apparently a help. Doesn't get you out of jail completely. Oh, well, there's a reason for that. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay. We'll fix it. So
well,
call in.
It's actually hooked up. But I have to be looking at it because I don't have the volume on.
Snooze.
Well, I try to not so it doesn't ring out loud.
Okay.
But I can see I missed a call.
Yep. Yep, you did.
But it looks like she's calling back.
Okay.
Good morning, Nicole.
Hey, well, no, you guys were talking about Alan, and so then I was like, I have to call in. I've known Alan for 20 something years.
Wonderful guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't open up to a lot of people though.
We did not have that issue with him. We
good.
Did not have that issue with him. So my ex and he became very good friends because he's Alan David and David is David Allen. And so they became really good friends. And in fact, one of the little mines out there, he actually named it the Griffin Drift mine after my ex-husband.
Wow.
But Dave and Alan were down there spelunking in one of the mines, and they actually found one of the oldest pair of Levi's like back around 2000, and Alan was going to auction them off, and it was I think something happened right around the time COVID hit, and so I don't think it ever happened. You'll have to ask him what he did with those Levi's. Wow. But yeah, he and Stephanie are great people, and she's actually got a degree in like sociology or something in German.
He's a smart guy. Yeah.
They both are.
Yeah. And historians and all that. And there's been a lot of pair of Levi's he's found now. I mean, he used to have just one years ago. And now because of the Hull mine, and he's been down like 800 feet or so. He's been finding pants.
But they're getting.
I don't know if there were bones in them or not. Pants.
Yeah, they're getting up in age. That's the thing. But yeah, they came out here with a cult from Washington State, and then they kicked the rest of the cult out.
They just weren't radical enough.
I don't know.
That's hilarious. I don't doubt that. He looks like a beatnik. He does.
Oh yeah, totally. But yeah, they're awesome people. They are awesome people. And for anybody who hasn't made the drive out there, you definitely should go out there. It's beautiful, in the history and just all of the stuff that they have. And like you said, they're just very interesting people to talk to.
Yeah, they're just accumulators, man. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Yeah, spend the whole day.
Exactly. I'm gonna go make my coffee now.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How's Nicole gonna make coffee?
Yeah.
That's good.
I didn't make her coffee this morning, so
yeah, she's gone, but you haven't been out there.
No, I have not.
You need to make a trip.
Yeah.
I read this headline today. It said cheap, healthy food is rejected by most Americans, even as Maha movement pushes it. That's Make America Healthy Again. And I thought, well, what healthy food's cheap?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I found out, but I don't like it. It's organ meats. Beef liver,
Yeah.
Right. And so apparently Kennedy's been pushing a little of the organ meats. It's much cheaper and apparently a lot healthier. He said, this article says 3-ounce serving of beef liver, sometimes called nature's multivitamin. I've called a lot of things. It's never been that.
Well, I know it has a lot of iron. We didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up, but we ate a lot of liver. As long as my mom had ketchup,
there was liver.
Yes.
Well, it has an average of 70.7 micrograms of vitamin B12, if you need that. The same amount of top sirloin has 2. Wow. So apparently it's a lot healthier. We've always known it. And at one time it was more in favor.
Yeah.
During the war, World War II, it was sought after because they told people to save the muscle meat for the soldiers. So eat more organs.
Yeah.
Liver and lung. I don't know what all they eat.
I know
heart, liver, kidneys.
Yeah. I remember.
Awful.
We used to fight over the gizzard and heart and stuff like that.
We did it, Maya. I mean, for chickens and stuff, gizzards, chicken hearts. Yeah, that used to be at my house. Liver was part of it. And apparently during the wartime, it became very, very much in, and then it fell out of favor. And one of the reasons it fell out of favor is it was associated with poverty and wartime rationing. Well,
Okay.
they're eating liver. They can't have much money because they're certainly not healthy.
Yeah. Well, it might be healthy if it's healthy for you, but
it is healthy.
no, we ate a lot of liver. I remember that.
Apparently, it is more expensive to process the organ meats. They spend more time on that than just chopping up the muscle meats.
Okay.
I'm still not going to go have dinner tonight with a liver. I don't know. I didn't.
Liver and onions. It's like
my mom used to fix it all the time.
Yeah.
I remember liver and onions, like hey, what's for dinner? Liver and onions. Oh.
Yeah. Well,
it wasn't like pizza. We wanted pizza, right?
Yeah. My mom used to, I guess you call it drenched or whatever, the liver in flour and fry it in a pan with a little bit of oil, and that was it. Okay,
now Nicole tells us, not if you have gout. Organs are not good. Body, not good if you have gout. That's like the rich man's disease, the gout. Sir.
Yeah.
Kings used to get gout.
Yeah, that is true.
The kings, because they ate all the food they wanted.
Yep.
Poor people didn't have that kind of food. So yeah, that's a gout. I guess beer and other things hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, beer is like one of the worst.
Yeah, so have your organ meats and beer and do that for a few years. You might have gout and things.
Yep.
Just like a king. I'm living like a king.
Yeah.
Can't walk. Carry me.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not good. You don't want gout.
Yeah.
Organ meats account for 22% of the total volume of U.S. beef exports, apparently. That's a lot, 22%.
It is.
And, well, other countries like it. Apparently not so much here.
Yeah.
It's a better market overseas. And eating organ meats, sometimes referred to as nose to tail. See, now it's just less appealing.
Yeah.
Now this is not good.
I just remember liver and Spam.
I don't know if Spam's good for you, is it?
I don't know.
I mean,
the Hawaiians are big on Spam.
That's right. I've read that's like their number one place to sell Spam.
Yeah. Well, I remember opening up the cans with that little roller ring that you went around the metal can, and it come out and have this jelly. I guess it was all fat.
Yeah.
The fat from the whatever around the Spam. And I was like, this can't be good.
We used to have Spam all the time. Liver, chicken livers, including beef livers and all of those. I haven't had any of that stuff in 40 years or better. I can't remember the last time.
I can't remember the last time I had. I had some Spam a couple years ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
They still make it.
Oh yeah. In fact, I think it was starting to come back in. People were starting to eat it again.
Really?
A lot of it. Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to try beef liver anytime, but I just pass that along. Like if you're wanting to do health, and it's cheapest. It's the cheapest out there.
It is.
And it's more expensive to process. Okay. But it's cheapest because nobody wants it. It's a supply demand thing. If everybody says, I want to get healthy, let's go buy liver, you're going to be like buying filet mignon all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Could be
interesting.
Could be.
Liver pate.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not raw, is it? It can't. I don't know.
I've eaten liver pate before, but I don't know.
It's kind of a paste or something you put on a cracker or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was really raw.
I'm almost not interested.
Yeah. That's kind of grossing me out now.
I don't know what that is. Artificial intelligence. It's going to be something. I did something with artificial intelligence though. They went to lunch with a couple of good friends, and they play around with the artificial intelligence more than I do. I don't really mess with it other than I look stuff up occasionally. It just does a search more or less. But they do things with pictures. Like I could have a picture of you and say, put him in a Western scene in a cowboy hat and all that stuff. And it just does it.
Yeah.
I was shocked. Those those are free AI.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to pay.
Chat GPT and
I got a few. Gemini does it,
Yep.
and I was just kind of surprised. So at lunch there, it's the first time I ever messed with it. I got a picture of Helen and put her in a Western outfit at Western Scene, and it's like seamless and quick.
Yeah.
And it was fake. She's not really a Western's outfit like that. She doesn't have that.
Yeah. I mainly used it for, when on work, when I have these long conferences, meetings, we got like 30 people in there and we're in there for like 6 hours. And I do the recording and then I have Chat GPT or one of them go through and summarize and go through the minutes and pull out key points and questions, unresolved issues and that kind of stuff.
What a great use for that.
I know. And of course my wife, Nicole, turned me on to it. It's like freaking amazing because what
you're lucky to have her, you've learned a lot.
I have, but something that would probably take you a couple of days to go through and read through all the minutes.
Right.
So this does it in like 5 or 10 minutes. It's just amazing.
I need to be looking more at that stuff. I mean, I've seen, some leaders that talk about it a little bit, business leaders that say, yeah, I use it from morning to night. It's doing everything for me.
Well, you have Chat GPT and then you have Copilot that comes along with your Outlook and your email and those types of things. And you can, literally it cuts your search down from hours to minutes.
I use it more and more now on research and things, but I'm careful with it because some of this open source stuff can lie to you.
It can.
Well, not intentionally, but it can pick up an article that's a lie.
Right.
And start quoting stuff like you start asking about, the Trump-Russia connection. It's going to pick up all those articles that were fake.
Yeah.
Because it can't differentiate. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I use Chat GPT probably the most. And then I use Copilot some when I'm working on projects like PowerPoints off of, different documents.
I don't know which one of those is the best. I have Grok. I have
Gemini. Grok in my car.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that? Yeah. Tesla has Grok in the car.
That's right. You were doing something with it the other day, and it was going to say it was going to go somewhere like 100 miles away.
Yes. Yeah, but no, I can just hold down the button and Grok's there, so I can ask it all kinds of questions. And I told it the other day, I was looking up a link, and I said, "Okay, well, text it to me." And my car says, "No, I can't text it to you. I can only respond to verbal commands in the car." So they have limited what Grok can do in your Tesla vehicle.
Oh, can you normally tell Grok to text it to you?
I think you can from like a laptop or something.
I have to start playing with it more.
Yeah.
But AI hasn't always helped. There's the AI system they put in Pizza Hut a few years ago. You see I think it was, I think a year or two ago, 22 or so. I'm looking at my article here. I don't see it. But they forced these independent owners to put in this AI system, and this AI system for deliveries. Apparently it sorted the deliveries and communicated the deliveries to DoorDash and all that other stuff.
Give you the best route and all those things?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was supposed to be this great enhancement over what they're doing and be able to get it done. Well, there's a franchise in the Northeast, Shack Pizza Northeast, and they have 111 restaurants across New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And apparently hugely successful. One of the movers, the shakers, and the growers, and for those areas, making that Pizza Hut system work. And they were forced to take it on. They were having a 10.19% positive year after year sales going into getting the AI, which was going to enhance it. They moved to a 9.78% negative.
Wow.
Because of the AI enhancement.
Huge. That's huge.
That's like stupid, crazy. I mean,
that's a lot of repeat customers.
So they're suing Pizza Hut, the main company, for $100 million in damages. They're a franchisee. and they're suing for $100 million for forcing them to take on this system and then not listening to them when they were complaining about it and the fact that their sales were going down, recommending, changes and optimizing it and everything and just said, you're just a franchisee. Shut up. No, I'm making that up. I don't know what they said, but but apparently he doesn't feel like they listened to him. So he got this lawsuit going on. Now, Pizza Hut, is already hurting. I've read that they're looking to close a couple hundred stores. 250 locations. That's in their Yum brands because they've been having a decline in sales. Well, it sounds like this one franchisee lost, went from 10 up to 10 down because of the AI system they forced them to use. Maybe they created the sales loss and don't know it. Here's the why and what it did that it's called, it came out in 2024. It's called Dragon Tail. And the complaint that this Pizza Hut owner said, look, DoorDash drivers now can see everything that's going on behind the scenes with the new AI. Like when the order was made, that it's in the oven and those kind of things. Like, and a lot of, if you buy a pizza, that you call in, a lot of the companies have that. They'll say, okay, your pizza's 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away. It's almost done. Like if you're going to go pick it up, it'll tell you that's almost done. Well, apparently they had something similar like that. So all the DoorDash guys said, well, they'd say this Pizza Hut needs a delivery. It's about 10 minutes from being completed. And, they can bid to go grab it first or whatever. Well, they'll do that. And then they while they're at the Pizza Hut restaurant, they see they got 2 more orders in the works. So they don't leave to make that delivery. They sit there to get the other 2 that are coming out right after it.
Oh, and then the pizzas are cold or something.
Well, yeah, they're late. Yeah. And before they got AI to make their system better, they were 90%, and they tracked it. 90% of all their pizza deliveries were within 30 minutes.
Okay.
Now it doesn't say now. Now they didn't give an exact number, but it is dropped to it's dropped tremendously. It did, and they didn't tell me the number they've got right now. It caused a sharp drop in sales, disappointing customers, delayed slow deliveries, and they're asking, don't tell the drivers when it's going on the rack. Don't tell the drivers, any of that stuff. Let them do like all those. So the drivers, I guess, could save gas, save time, handle more. They were making more money, and killing Pizza Hut all at the same time. And Pizza Hut forced them to keep it. So they're going to sue $100 million. I would say, being a non-lawyer, that they probably got a good case.
Maybe so.
To say, look,
the individual franchise are owned by them. So
your AI made it worse because there was too much information, really, to the drivers. They changed all their habits, so they use this AI to be able to actually save them some time at the expense of the customers getting a hot pizza.
Yeah, or timely. Yeah, because didn't they have a commercial about delivery in 30 minutes or less, or it's free? Is that them?
There's been Domino's. There's been
Domino's.
Some of them have done some of that. I don't know if anybody does that anymore.
I don't know, because I remember hearing about people out there timing them. They hang up and hit the timer,
and don't answer the door for 2 minutes. I got 2 more. Exactly. Guy's beating on the door. Don't answer it yet. But they struggled with it. So this thing happened in 24 and cost these guys a lot of money. They're suing for $100 million. When I saw the $100 million, I thought that was just a big number like Trump throws out there. I'm going to sue you for $10 billion or something.
Right.
Something to get the conversation going. I think they're really looking for $100 million. They have 111 stores, and it cost all these loss in sales over those times, and reputation and customer satisfaction and all that. They've got to build back their sales reputation. And the other operators, I guess, the reason Pizza Hut's having trouble is the competition has really stepped it up and doing a much better job. Well, they're doing a much better job, and Pizza Hut's crippled their drivers. Well intended, but something I see here, when this thing happened in 24, and they're not listening, when these guys have real knowledge of application and what's going on, and they don't listen at all, they don't adjust, they get stuck in their ways.
Yeah,
like, we know better than you. You can't be smarter than corporate. They're going to fail. Yeah, they're not. They're living in a bubble.
I think that's, as we get into AI and all these things, you have to keep a human in the loop, to override.
Yeah.
And we know that, computers and that kind of stuff are probably right. I don't know if I'd say 80% of the time or 90% of the time, but you got to be there, that 10%, whatever it is, to be able to override it and do what's right. It's like with my Tesla, I don't go to sleep. Sometimes I'd like to.
While you're driving?
Yeah, but
well,
but,
it's not ready for that yet, is it?
Yeah, it's like 95% of the time it's exactly right, but every once in a while it does something wrong, and not like critical where it's going to run into something, but like it will want to take a wrong turn or not take a turn that I want to take, or it doesn't necessarily route on the right path for whatever reason. And so you have to override it, but 95% of the time it's right, but you still have to be there.
When something like that happens, is there some way that you notify Tesla that this happened?
Yes,
there is.
Yeah.
So it's always learning.
Yes, it is. It's always learning. My car will now drive, not all the time, but it'll drive me right into my driveway and stop at the garage door. But yeah, it's always learning. So when you're in full autopilot and you have to disengage it for whatever reason, you get a screen pop up that asks you what happened, and you hit the button and you can record and give them a message about what happened.
Wow.
So they can take that, obviously learn. A couple times my messages have not been nice.
But heaven forbid.
When he had one of the problems that it had early on, I don't know if my new car has that same as Phantom. It's called Phantom braking, where the car will be going down the road.
Sees a ghost.
Yeah. And it's usually in the summer when you're driving in the road and you get the heat waves and the car sees something there. And so all of a sudden it will slow down because it thinks there's something in the road from the heat waves.
Right.
Now, I haven't experienced that with the new car, but with my old one, up through a certain amount of versions, I would experience that. And it's very annoying when you're going 80 miles an hour and all of a sudden, it starts braking hard because it thinks there's an object in the road in front of you.
But that hasn't happened to you in many years then?
No, it hasn't happened since I had the new car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they got some programming to be able to help identify that.
Yeah, because my Model 3 they used to have cameras and I think it was LiDAR in it, so it would, the cameras might pick up something, but the LiDAR wouldn't see anything, so it could override it. But they're not using that in their vehicles anymore.
No.
Yeah.
But if Yum Foods was running Tesla, they wouldn't make the adjustments.
And then you'd have to sue them for $100 million.
Live with it. With it. You don't get those adjustments. Yeah, it's crazy. Austin police arrested 3 juveniles linked to 12 random shootings, injuring 4 people, and it just saddens me that this act of these kids stealing guns, stealing cars, and just driving around shooting people. It's just kind of like, what gets into people's heads? Where's this coming from? I know if Gilbert calls, he'll tell me it's because they play video games.
It actually could be.
And maybe he's right on this one.
Yeah,
I don't know. We don't know yet. But this is a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old that were stealing cars. And this happened in Austin, Texas. And Lisa Davis, she works with the police department in there. This is, that we have suspects in custody at this time. Most of the shootings occurred in South Austin. No specific motive, and they appear to be random in nature. And they had a shelter in place for everybody. I mean, it shut down the town, and it still took a couple days to find them.
Hopefully, they'll be put away for a long, long time.
Yeah,
50 years or more.
And how do we get? How do we keep it from happening again? Let's talk to Gilbert. He might have an answer.
There you go.
Yeah, good morning, Gilbert.
Yeah, I do have an answer, Russ. And I still believe a lot of this stuff is these kids are influenced by video games, movies. I mean, you see some of the stuff that's happening and the way these kids that do kill people, never been in the military, but they go and shoot up places like they've been in the military and been trained. You've seen it, right, Greg?
Yep,
you in the military. You seen how you assault a room?
Yeah,
and that's how these guys do it. They're taught by video games.
Well, these guys just joyriding around, shooting up firehouses, just shooting people. One person was in serious condition, and apparently they're stable now. And they expect to make it, and then.
Okay, now you see these kids rioting just for the hell of it. New York, L.A. They got a big old thing now how to control them. Well, you control them at home. If you can't control your kids at home and you're not paying attention to what your kids are doing, well, that's why they're acting up the way they are.
Janine Shapiro was talking about that today. I heard a recording of it where there's laws, and I guess that's in D.C., that if you've got kids unsupervised, you've got kids that you've allowed them to break curfews and all that, they're going to arrest the parents.
Yeah, they're trying to enact that law now, correct? Is that the law she's talking? I heard about it last week.
I got the impression from talking to her, and I don't know the details, but I got the impression it was already there, and she says you will be arrested. I'm assuming maybe it's recently passed, but parents have to be responsible now. They're talking if you have knowledge, if you know, if you've left your kids alone. If they're stealing things and you turn the other way and don't say anything and all that, you could, it's a crime for you because you're responsible for that individual.
It's really a crime when you have people that are influential, and they're in another state talking about racism and why redistricting is causing more racism, and what they're trying to do with these new redistricting is keep the black man from becoming a candidate and being elected. And who said that by chance, Russ?
Man, I don't know, but it's been going around a lot of that misinformation and crap. What?
Well, it was Senator Kelly yesterday.
Senator Kelly
in Georgia. I believe he's in Georgia. He's in Georgia.
But
talking.
You mean our Senator Mark Kelly?
That's exactly who I'm talking about.
Just when I think I can't like him less.
But see, people like that talk like that, they influence dumb people. And he's out there. So why don't we have a black senator or congressman or whatever? What's happening in Arizona that we have not elected a black representative? Maybe they don't want to run.
Have we never had one? I don't know.
We never had.
We tried to get Travis Angry elected.
Yeah, there's been candidates.
Big deal,
we don't have. I don't think we have a huge black population, do we?
I mean,
percentage-wise,
it's like 5 or 6%.
Okay,
I know that's what it is here.
Yeah, we have about this. Mark Kelly was in Georgia, talking this trash.
Yeah, which they have a really large population of black, like in the major cities like Atlanta. There's a big population.
Exactly. Yeah. Me with common sense, I'm thinking, well, maybe there's not a good candidate that is of color that's running, and that's why their own people don't elect them.
Yeah.
Do you think that could be?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It doesn't really matter. I really don't think it matters with the color anymore. I think it's just who the best candidate is. You got Byron Donaldson running in Florida, replaced Ron DeSantis. You got two great, one great candidate, one great governor, and one's white and one's black, and it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And,
I think
and there's how many people in Congress and Senate that are of color?
I don't think
course.
we have any senators. Do we?
Oh, I thought we had one.
Okay, maybe.
But,
in
but
the
again,
House, there's enough for a caucus, but of course, there's 2 Republican congressmen that are black, and they're not allowed to be in the black caucus. They're not black enough.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
they are.
Yeah,
they're not liberal enough. You have to be liberal. It's not really a black caucus. It's a black liberal caucus.
yes,
progressive
it is.
caucus. Yeah.
So, like again, I thought, like you said, Russ, I didn't think Kelly could get any more stupider.
That's a new word. We're putting that word in the dictionary now. Stupid.
Yeah, that's right. Tim Scott is a senator, I guess. Yeah.
Tim Scott.
Yeah,
That's right.
I couldn't think of his name right now as you were speaking. But
well, we got quite a few. Cory Booker, Raphael Warnock, and Angela Allsbrooks, and Lisa Blunt Rochester. That's a good representation right there.
Yeah, exactly. Whether you're Democrat or
that's 5%, 5% of the Senate. Yep.
But as long as we have the race baiters going on, that's what's going to happen. The other day, I was at a function, and pink hair ladies came in. You see them on 4th Avenue and 16th Street, and you see them at City Hall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Greg?
Yeah, I do.
The pink hair. Well, they were talking, and they asked me a question, and I'm looking at them, wanting to say, "Do you really want to ask me a question?" So first thing good morning. First thing she said about Black Lives Matter, right? And I go, all right, we're gonna do the victim thing here. So I go, all lives matters, and then she started with the BS, the general knowledge BS. I go, do you know who's responsible for the community? And she goes, who? I go, the people that live in the community. I mean, why don't all these Black Lives Matter activists go out there and try to keep the drugs off the street and keep all the gang violence down?
Wow. You asked that? What was the answer, man? That you're a racist?
No, they looked at me with their eyes, and I go, another thing that's really screwing things up is this woke thing. This woke in classroom. I go, and you know what? They got woke mentality in the Black community too. I go, so that's the whole problem with this Black Lives Matter. I go, brown lives matter, all lives matter. But you guys picked this one little thing. And the reason I believe the reason they said it, because there's this black man was about 2 feet from us. And they thought I was going to cow down.
Yeah.
And I, gave them what I thought. And they didn't want to talk to me anymore.
Oh, they're quick at that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not in with their narrative, they'll cut you off.
You're banned for life now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure of that. But again, you're between the pink hairs and then our own senator embarrassing the state of Arizona. Man.
I know.
And you haven't heard much from Guleo lately, have you?
No, I think he's hiding under the couch. Yeah. He's still got lots of explaining to do. There's a lot of people think he was more involved.
Yes.
With some of that stuff, but I haven't seen any evidence of it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he's really hiding because he thinks he's going to get called out in the Swalwell deal.
Yeah.
I think so too.
That's what it appears to be, because he was always very visible. He was always out there.
Well, he was involved. It's just a matter of how far he went with some of this harassing women and stuff like that. And he doesn't, obviously, we all know Gallego here with his ex and that kind of stuff doesn't have a good track history with women.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing, Gallego is another one that talks a lot of trash outside of Arizona. He's always somewhere in California, Georgia, whatever.
Well, I think both of them are running for president. I know.
The three blind mice, huh? AOC.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, what's her name? The former vice president.
Oh, Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris and Galeo and our senator, and so 4 blind mice. So, well, I'm going to go back to my birds. Y'all have a good one. But I thought I'd call you since I heard what you said, Russ.
Thank you, buddy.
And I know you don't believe video games have influence on these kids. Your kid was lucky that he had you and your wife watching him, guarding him.
That's right.
From all this other
yeah, that's right. Parental control, man.
Gilbert, I do believe that video games are influencing our youth. I do. The violent shoot 'em up gangs and stuff, when they sit there and play those all day and relating that to reality stuff. So yeah, unless you have to have a good parent that will limit the video games and discipline the child.
Right.
Discipline the child. And remember, movies also have our influence. Remember the 70s, all the shoot 'em up, the gangs and all that. You can get real rich. You can drive fancy cars if you sell cocaine or drugs.
Right. Yeah, glorifying a lot of it.
Yeah. Right. That's an influence on kids, especially in the ghetto.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. Take care.
All right.
Thanks, Gilbert.
Bye.
Yeah, when I get off here, I'm going to go play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I saw a good movie. That's Sheep Detective. I went to see that. It's kind of like Sheep Detective in the theaters. Yeah, it was pretty good. It's kind of a cute movie that's for adults and children at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, and since we're talking about all the violence on video games, I just thought I'd throw that out there. But,
there is, and my son played video games I think he still does. He's 40.
Yeah.
I think he still does. A lot of it's military type video games that he plays. In fact, the Army produced video games and put it out there.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. And he played those.
Yeah, they did. They used video games to help train future pilots, future drone pilots or something like that.
I didn't know about that one. This one was a special forces type video games that the Army put out. And I was over at his house, and he's showing me these games that he likes a lot.
I think there's a movie, if I remember right, The Last Starfighter is like in the future. They put out to see what kids could fly the starship.
That was a fun movie. That was a kid movie, I think, but that was a fun movie. Yeah, right. And he ended up winning the game.
I was a kid. I was only 65 or something when I saw it.
So
I was still a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, but the movie, this kid won this game, and he got visited by aliens to come help save the alien race. Because you know how to fly these planes,
Yeah. It was The Last Starfighter. I think that
was pretty funny. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a fun movie. Well, hopefully Austin gets figured out with these kids and what's going on with them. I like Janine Chapero's attitude in that parents are responsible, man. If you've got a 15, 16-year-old home that's stealing guns and cars, there's a disconnect with parental responsibility.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Probably the biggest thing, and it's that's one of those. It's too late now because they were shooting them up. I mean, they need to go away for. They're probably can't be fixed.
I don't know what the rehab takes on something like this.
Probably like 50 years,
maybe
50 years in prison, and they can get out when they're 65.
They were shooting to kill people.
Yeah,
they were shooting to kill people. We just don't write that off as a prank.
No.
They were firing into a fire station. They hit the fire trucks, and of course, the firemen were very nearby. None of them were hit, but people could have easily been killed and all that.
Well, fire trucks now. I think I heard it's something like a 4 or 5 year lead time on a fire truck. So, if you damage a fire truck, that's serious. I mean, we're talking in the millions for a fire truck, and I think I heard 4 or 5 years sometimes now for lead time on fire trucks.
That's specialized equipment.
Yeah.
Now, the police department, Lisa Davis, who speaks for the Austin Police Department, or no, Lisa's the chief, urged residents not to leave keys or key fobs inside your vehicle. What? What, do they do that in Austin? Is that
I don't know.
I mean, I have friends that do that. I won't tell you who they are because I don't want their car stolen.
Well, growing up, we did that.
Yeah.
You just put the keys above the visor or underneath the floor mat,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't lock your car. You didn't lock your house.
Right.
I mean, we never did that. Like,
but now the Somalians are there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know you grew up in that area.
Yeah,
Minnesota,
St. James, and Red Wing. Yeah,
right.
But yeah,
I had a friend that had a car that didn't need a key to start it. You know, you could put a key in the ignition and lock it, but otherwise you could just leave it unlocked.
Yeah.
Take the key out in an unlocked position, and you could keep using it and never need the key.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. It was like a 1960 something Buick, and didn't need a key if you didn't lock it up.
Yeah.
I don't think they make them like that anymore. Now it's, key fobs are really secure. Yeah. If you don't have the right key fob, and not just the cut on the key, but the electronic chips and all that kind of stuff, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you the Somali problem in Minnesota is really bad, and I don't know how they're going to fix it other than getting, deporting them all. I don't know.
Well, the ones that are here not legally need to be.
Well, even the ones that are here legally. I mean, they brought their, I've talked about this, the warlord thing. They brought it here. They never stopped having warlords, and they're basically, warlords are like violent gangs. And they brought that here to Minnesota with them, and they stayed in place.
Yeah.
They have not assimilated at all. They had no intent of assimilating. And in fact, they've coagulated isn't the right word, but they've congregated in certain areas in Minnesota. And that's how you get like crooks like Ilhan Omar elected and stuff like that, because her district has a huge Somali inventory. And of course, then the woke that's penetrated the major cities. But and again, I got to repeat, the rural areas in Minnesota are not that way at all. It's Minneapolis, St. Paul, and maybe St. Cloud, and maybe some in Rochester, but the rest of the state is very conservative.
Right. They've got to be just sick up there, though.
Oh yeah, because I mean, it's a hunting, fishing, outdoor. That's what Minnesota is known for, and they have these communities, and I know Texas is the same way.
They voted Tim Walz in.
Yeah. Well, the question is, and I've talked about this before, in Minnesota, you can go to the polls and you can vouch for 8 other people. Yeah. They don't have to have ID. And so the gist of what people think's going on in Minnesota is the Somalis are voting multiple times at different polling places and having somebody vouch for them at another polling place. So literally you could go to,
that's been a fairly recent law.
Yeah.
That got passed under Tim Walz.
Yeah, exactly. And so you could literally, probably, I don't know how many polling places there are in Minneapolis, St. Paul, but there's obviously a lot. It's a huge
SAVE
city.
Act would throw that ruling. I mean, that would throw that law out.
Right.
And John Thune refuses to work on it.
Yeah. So you get a carload of 9 people and they vote at one place, then they go to another polling place, they vote again. And that, if you have, 100,000, I think there's 104,000 Somalis in Minnesota. I think I saw.
Yeah, get 1 million votes.
Yeah, exactly. Just like overnight. How could, Did Tim Walz really get elected? I don't know. I don't know if he did or not, but Minnesota has elected conservative people before.
He's not running again for office, but he's running his mouth. He seems to be more angry and aggressive. I mean, he goes overseas and trashes our president.
Yeah. Well, and then he brags about things helping and doing things for the fraud that he had nothing to do with.
Right. When there were some people arrested recently federally that he had nothing to do with, and then blamed, and said, well, see, we're doing our job and everything. Right. He didn't even assist. They didn't even share information.
Yeah. And now you got people like Amy Klobuchar running for governor, who just, she was a prosecutor in Hennepin County, which is Minneapolis, St. Paul area. And she just, state of Minnesota just lost a lawsuit because they put away some innocent people. I think they just lost $45 million in the lawsuit because this guy served 20 years in prison and they had no evidence on him. And somehow they got him convicted, and Klobuchar was the prosecutor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's going around now. Now I didn't, and on the other side, so Jim Klobuchar was her dad.
Okay.
Was a reporter, a sports reporter. Great guy. I really liked him, but Amy's not that. No.
Hey, Mike Shelton just signed on. He said he found us by accident on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a terrible accident.
Mike's a good guy.
He is a good guy.
Long-time city council.
It's good to hear
member.
from him, Mike.
Yeah.
Edward sends me the notice that the Long Island Railroad was shut down. That was a Friday, I think.
Yeah, they went on that strike. Yeah.
Yeah, first time in 30 years that they've shut it down. Now, we don't rely on mass transit like major cities.
Yeah.
They get 270,000 riders a day. And it's turned off.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Man.
Yeah. And I've heard combination of governor there is caused some of those problems, and she's on the outs with the union.
Yeah, and she's running for re-election.
Right. And the mayor in New York is on the outs with the union. You know, the communist mayor that supposedly be big in this, the people and unions and stuff like that. And obviously they shut it down because they're not making the kind of money they think they need to make. Well, in fact, because governor, not Whitmer, but Hochul, yeah, gave Mondami like $4.5 billion or something, and now the rail workers saying, "Well, where's our share of that money?"
Yeah. And Hochul should be smart enough to see that coming.
Yeah,
and they've been in negotiations for like a year or two on this contract.
Yeah,
and they finally just said enough's enough. Now Hochul's out there saying that her administration has made investments in the Long Island Railroad, and the union's demands could force her to increase taxes or raise fares by as much as 8%. Now, yeah, of course, that's great. Nothing's her fault.
No,
I mean, and look at the billions that state spends on illegal aliens and hotel bills and all the stupid crap, and the guys working hard. Yeah, they're going to get ignored.
Well, and she's blaming it on Trump.
Well, I don't see it in this article, but I did see it on something that it was Trump's fault.
Yeah. Everything's Trump's
fault. Well, how
fault.
could it not be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But in that area, if you live out, I mean, a lot of people live in the suburbs and they move near a train station knowing, okay, I can get downtown with this train. I don't have to drive. And driving into the city right now, I don't know what it's going to look like on a Monday morning. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's crowded normally.
Yep.
You throw another 270,000 people on that. It's going to be gridlock on top of no train.
Yeah.
Work's going to come to a halt. Yeah. It's going to be a stranglehold because they really do rely on mass transit.
Yeah, they do. Well, they have to because, you know, the city's built up. They can't really expand the roads without taking out skyscrapers and buildings and stuff. So they have to have mass transit, and it's got to be, you know, efficient and good. Otherwise, people won't ride it.
A lot of people were complaining this weekend because of the baseball games going on. You couldn't take a train to get into the baseball game.
Yeah,
which is a big deal because of those stadiums are going to lose money.
Yeah, well, I think they actually have a train stop right there at the stadium.
Well, they generally would.
Yeah,
generally. I mean, they do in San Diego.
Yeah,
you know, when Chargers played there.
Yeah,
it would just go right to the train.
It's important to have good governors. But speaking of good governors,
yes,
yeah, May 26th at the food bank from 6 to 7 p.m. At 6 p.m. Andy Biggs is going to be here at the food bank, May 26th, 6 p.m. Ron Van Wy running for city council is going to be there, and Catherine Haley running for AZ treasurer. So they got some, I mean, it's worthwhile to come there to see Andy Biggs. We got to have a good governor. I mean,
Andy would fill that slot.
Yeah. I mean, states can go on the crapper when you have bad governors, as we've seen. I mean, we've gone from like in the top 5 for creating new business to like 49 or some garbage like that. I mean, towards the bottom for growth and businesses and stuff like that. So Governor's really important. People don't really see what's going on, but another 4 years of Hobbs and things, the damage here would be significant. And, Andy Biggs has been around. He's been a state representative, senator.
Oh, he's a state senator. He's president of the Senate.
Yeah, that's right. And then obviously in Congress for a while, he's done a really good job up there. And now he's running for governor. So May 26th, 6 p.m. at the food bank, he's going to be speaking there. So I recommend any of you go out there. And if you haven't heard him and what he stands for, it's good to go there. But even if you just want to support him, we have to make a change.
Yeah.
And I think he would be a great change for us.
He would be.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm trying to look at the latest polls for
governor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Andy's not. I mean, Andy's been behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing too is if people don't know where the food bank is, it's off of 24th Street there, close to 3E. Yeah.
Okay, it's the Democrats +2 right now. Katie Hobbs over Andy Biggs by 2. Of course, once we get through the primary, that changes too.
Right.
Because it's just Andy Biggs. Biggs.
If we get the SAVE Act, that will change too.
Oh, of course.
if only
of course.
Legal voters. And people probably don't know this, but there's still a big investigation going on in Arizona about illegal voting. And it still has legs.
Yeah, they came in and confiscated the records and stuff.
Right.
The feds did. They came in.
Yeah, yes.
Here's a potential new job for you, Greg. I know you're looking.
Absolutely.
There's a search for the next James Bond.
Oh, okay.
It's underway. I guess.
See, that might be that's the job I want. One that you get paid a lot of money, but you don't have to work hardly at all. That's the job.
Is that what you think?
Yes.
Is that what you think? Have you seen the recent James Bond movies and the stunts?
Yeah, but they have stuntmen.
No, I mean, a lot of these guys do it themselves, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So they're looking for a new one. And it's how long has that been around? James Bond, the first James, was it in the 60s or something?
Oh, probably in the 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's there's never been. I say Daniel Craig's been doing it for quite a while now.
Yeah.
The one movie he did, No Time to Die in 21, grossed almost 800 million worldwide.
Yeah.
Wow. You get some notoriety.
Yeah.
Big role. I don't know of anybody who knows what they're going to pick. I'm sure there's people out there that could fit that role, but that's a big star.
Yeah,
right there.
I'd have to be 5 or 10 years younger than I am.
5 or 10. Oh, I was thinking 30, 40, but okay, we'll go with that. 2 Navy jets crashed. We were talking about this morning. You looked at that stuff. And this was at a air show. Pilots, everybody's okay. They got out. There was two pilots in each plane. There's four total, and they all got out. Which is really just wow. Fortunate they were flying lower to the ground, hit each other, and still get out of those planes.
When they collided and tangled, I was really surprised that both the pilot and the Wizzo, which is a weapons system officer, both planes got out. And I was very surprised that they're actually flying the Growlers, the 2-seater version, in the air show.
Well, it was an air show, and they just use active planes a lot of time. They don't use stuff, the specific show plane. They don't do that always.
But usually it's a single seater, and
yeah. This is a 2-seat Growlers, man,
mm-hmm.
and those are electronic warfare.
Right. They replaced the EA-6B that they replaced.
That's an expensive plane.
But EA-6B was I think $1 billion airplane. Yeah, because it was had to protect the pilots from the radiation. The inside of the cockpit was lined with gold foil.
Really?
Yeah, they used
gold foil.
Gold foil.
Well, I want to go out and rummage through that wreck.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know if they did it on the, because of the new technology, they can direct the radiation. Maybe they don't need it now.
I don't know. But according to this article, there are investigations underway. I think they would start the investigation by watching the video. Somebody was in the wrong place.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna probably fall back on pilot error, but
it could be mechanical, but more than
Yeah.
likely it's pilot error. And usually it's the -2, the second guy who's responsibility for maintaining the separation. But I couldn't tell enough what type of aerobatics they were using to see if
Yeah.
it was, lead and trail or what they were flying.
well, these you see them train when they do air shows here. They're out there for days training beforehand and staying distant. But that's part of their normal flying, anyways. Flying in formation.
Yes, it is. But they don't fly as that tight.
Yeah, probably.
Mhm.
This doesn't happen very often. Now that would be a good air show to be at, though. You don't get to see that very often. Two
No.
airplanes, and thank goodness they walked away.
Yeah.
Everybody was okay. We just lost a lot of hardware.
Yeah, they've had, I think here in Yuma, I think there's been 3. They had the biplane, that we talked about.
You and I talked about that
But
earlier.
then
We were
they-
both there that day
Yeah,
with the
then they had
biplane.
a Harrier, and the pilot was actually killed. It was inverted on the runway, and obviously he couldn't get out. And then I think they had an A4 a long time
During a
ago.
show?
The A4 was, I don't think was, but the AV8 was there, and
Okay.
his
Wow.
wife was in the audience.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's really terrible.
Yeah.
The biplane that Greg talked about, that was like 20 years ago or so. But the biplane was not a military plane. It was a stunt plane.
Right.
And the lady was cutting a ribbon, that was low to the ground, and she flew under it.
It was at night, remember?
Yeah, it was at night. It was a
Yeah.
night deal, which
Yeah.
was a limited audience.
Right.
We were there, but the
but
ribbon
yeah.
got cut, but she hit the ground upside down and skidded down the
Her
road.
tail. So when the plane, I was there with my dad, and the plane was upside down, and the tail started dragging on the runway, and the sparks came out, and I was like, "Oh man, that's cool!"
Yeah,
and then
real
all
cool.
of a sudden, then I realized, then the rest of the plane came down. And it's like, "Oh crap, not cool."
And
Yeah.
and it was somber, and people getting on the mics and saying, we need emergency crews, everyone just stay where you are and all that kind of stuff. And then after a few minutes, the lady that was flying the plane jumped up, grabbed the mic, and said, "I apologize for the ruckus and all
Yeah,
that."
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
you say
was-
she got fired as a
she was. This is the rumor that I heard,
Okay.
and of course you can't confirm this, that she was a airline pilot for like Delta or American or something like that, and she lost her license or something like that
because of that.
because of that accident. But yeah, I don't know.
That's kind of weird. I mean,
Yeah.
she doesn't usually fly her, passenger
Doesn't
planes
fly
like
the
that.
passenger planes upside down at night while she's landing.
No, and she was
Yeah.
one of those show pilots or something, flying
Yeah.
close to the ground and cutting
Yeah.
stuff. And obviously, that plane was built with a roll cage,
Yeah.
so that she didn't get injured. It
Yeah,
looked like.
she was a very, I can't remember her name now, but she was a very famous pilot,
Okay.
stunt pilot and stuff. She was like at the top of her game, and yeah, she just that
Just got a little
tail,
close.
yeah, the tail scraped, and it was at night, so your depth perception is a little bit off, and
Yeah,
and that's all it took.
it was probably Trump's fault.
Yeah, it was.
Always is.
Yeah.
There's a favorite pastor I have now, Pastor Corey B. Brooks.
Oh,
He's in Chicago.
not Tyrone.
Oh, Tyrone's great. Locally, Tyrone's a favorite.
Yeah.
Well, in fact,
Yeah.
I sent Tyrone some literature from Corey B. Brooks
Mm-hmm.
because I was so amazed. In fact, I read one of his letters on air one day because he's just I really like the way he doesn't take excuses. He lives in the South Side of Chicago. That's like one of the roughest places in the country.
Yeah, it is.
When you hear about murders and stuff in Chicago, it's not all of Chicago. There's parts of Chicago. A lot of it's at South Side.
Yeah.
And that's where he has his ministry, and he started Project Hood to help, clean up the communities and stuff. he recently, and Tyrone sent me a note back after I sent him that. He says, "Yeah, Corey's a good friend. He's going to be in Yuma in June. You want him on the air?"
Oh, that'd be cool.
I said, "Yeah, I'll bring him in. If I can, I would love to have him and Tyrone together, and I'll lock the door. No one else can come in. I'm taking the phone off the hook."
Yeah,
we'll find out about these guys. But he just did a walk across America. And he when he got back, and he ended up injuring his foot just from the excess walking and stuff,
stress
like that.
fracture or something.
Yeah. So he got back to Chicago, and he was disappointed. He was disappointed. He walked across America, and he just ran into wonderful people, great people, and in small towns, big towns, all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks back to Chicago, and he looks around, and he says, the problem with Chicago and in the South Side is not white influence, and it's not the white guy. It's the guys that live here.
Yeah, it is.
Stop blaming it on other, and stuff. So he's got a common sense approach that we're responsible into ourselves and stuff. And so I see an article today where he just had 1,000 men unity gathering at a complex in South Chicago. It's called the Robert R. McCormick Leadership and Economic Opportunity Center. And that is going to be a place where he wants to help train people, train men to, be good citizens. And he declared with these 1,000 men that the surrounding area is 100% violence-free zone. He said, this is bigger than the building. This is about creating a culture where men stand together to protect families, mentor young people, reduce violence, and build something that will outlive us. We are declaring that this community deserves peace, opportunity, and hope. And it brought other pastors, fathers, mentors, activists, business leaders, former gang members, and residents from all over Chicago. And what they described as a unified effort to promote safety, accountability, and opportunity on the South Side. And that's something you don't hear enough. You see these politicians blame, well, they had a bad childhood, or it's Trump's fault, or it's the system, or something like that. This is about accountability.
Yeah.
And that's what he's pushing.
Yeah.
And we're in trouble because we don't push it, Greg.
Yeah, that's true. If somehow you could bring the work ethic, morals, integrity from rural America, which across the country, rural America, probably I'm going to say 95% is very good. But if you can somehow bring that into the inner cities like a Minneapolis or a Chicago or, Austin or Houston, Texas, something like New York.
Yeah.
If you bring that mentality in, I think we would not have the problems we have today.
Right. And along with what Janine's doing with holding parents accountable for letting your kids go nuts. You got a 14, 15-year-old stealing guns and cars. We got to look at the home.
Yeah.
And what's going on.
Well, the other thing too is, as we know, going around the country, arresting all these illegal aliens. And it's like somehow Trump has gone around and gotten his guys to start arresting all these illegals, and our crime rate, murder rate, or whatever has gone down
historic
lower.
Lows.
Yeah. Historic lows
since record keeping.
So what is, there's cause and effect. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the immigration policy, the ones that have come into the country illegally, they're not here for good things. And that needs
and we're
to
not
be
talking
fixed.
100% of them.
No, we're not.
But there's a big chunk hiding in there.
Yeah.
That needs to be taken care of.
But you see, just because of that, and I'm not going to say that's the only thing. I mean, this administration obviously has done more than just illegal aliens. I mean, they're fighting crime and drugs and all these things. But, you see the cause and effect that they get rid of all these people that have come into our country illegally, and crime has gone to historic lows.
Brooks said, we declare that this is going to be a peace zone, a nonviolent zone, violence-free zone. So the young kids can come to the center and have peace of mind knowing they don't have to worry about their safety. He said the neighborhood surrounding the center was once considered one of the most dangerous areas in Chicago. In 2014, Chicago Sun-Times wrote an article saying that this was the most dangerous neighborhood in Chicago, and it happened to be on this block.
Yeah.
Now they're 35th.
Yeah.
There's already been improvements, and he just
Good.
now will be in the center. Let's
Good.
talk to Carl. Carl,
Hey,
good morning.
Carl.
Hey, good morning, fine gentlemen. You were talking about our ICE, protecting us, getting the people out of the country that don't belong here.
Yeah.
and my representative in my district is Adelina Grijalva, and she's down there in Tucson protesting ICE for doing what they're doing.
Right.
So here I'm sitting listening to, we need to straighten our country out, but then we vote in people that fight against us.
Yeah. Well, and Tucson reflects that because they have a very high crime rate and
yeah,
you know, so, yeah,
Right.
you know, I could not live the way I do in Yuma, Arizona if I lived in Tucson, because they'd steal all my stuff. And then I get up in the morning, there'd be somebody sleeping in my couch. So
yeah.
You know, I don't know who proposed this, but someone in Congress proposed that they change the name of ICE. You know, right now it's in Immigration Customs Enforcement.
Yeah.
They want to change to National Immigration
Nice.
Customs.
Yeah.
I think they should. They have to do that. They have to.
Yeah, that would be the proper reforms for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Change the name to NICE.
And who are they fighting the hardest? President Trump, for saying, "Hey, America first."
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
Anyway, that was just my 2 cents. I'm going, we and it's so hard to get these people out that fight against our government. Adelina Grijalva has no business fighting against our government. She was put there to protect we the people, and she's not doing it.
Yeah.
Well, she just got there because of her name. You know, I don't think she had any real. I know she had some other political things, but she's really hasn't done anything. So.
Well, I think they got there because we the people let them gerrymander our state so bad that it makes it almost impossible.
Yeah.
So
yeah, hopefully the next one we do, we can reduce some of that with the help of the Supreme Court. You know,
how many of those redistrictings have you been to, Russ?
2
every 10 years.
Yeah, 2.
At least 2, right?
Yeah.
Did it make any difference? No.
Well,
didn't to me.
Unfortunately, it's 5 people that make the decision.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And really it's 1, because you got 2 that are selected by Democrats, 2 by Republican, and 1 so-called independent. That 1 person is the tiebreaker, is the one that makes it done. 1 person. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, I think it's about one of the stupidest things our government has done is just put it. It's only 1 person, and and the redistricting, that's not supposed to. Is it supposed to be people, or what color the people are?
Well, that's going to change though, because now that's not legal.
Yeah, it's not legal anymore.
Yeah, because you shouldn't check anything by skin color. You shouldn't do it. And you don't fix racism by making more racism.
That's right. And why, as being a longtime Yuma resident, I've never really seen the problem. So, and I know you living in going to an all black school, you've seen the problem. Right?
Yeah, but I never had any problem in there. You know, it was
amazingly.
You
got beat up once?
No. We were taking classes together. That's all.
Good.
There wasn't.
And it didn't make any difference?
No.
And that's the way it should be.
It wasn't graded on a racial curve. It was graded on how well you performed. No. You know, that's it.
No, that's the way life is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So anyway. We're getting ready to go into the 4th of July, and I hope we can do as good on the second 250 years as we did on the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a good day, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Carl.
Edward just sent me a really interesting discussion he had with Hal. Hal is his artificial intelligence.
Oh, of course, from A Space Odyssey 2000.
Well, nothing to do with that. It's just a coincidence.
Name.
It's a coincidence.
He didn't name it that on purpose.
No,
okay.
no. It is something totally different.
Okay.
Hal is warning that 2 minutes of the show could be deemed racially insensitive under the YouTube or NRB style standards. The issue is framing rural manners and systems as something to bring into the inner city, since rural and urban can be read as racially coded language. Because we were just talking about Corey, the pastor from Chicago, that walked across America.
Mm-hmm.
And it was mentioned that, he walked through the rural areas
Right.
and all the, not just inner cities and all that. And he got back to Southside and he realized that we're creating our own problems.
Mm-hmm.
Hal says that could be, of course, I'm saying what Corey said, but Hal says that could be, that could be racial. Hal keeps interrupting me during serious programming I was roped into doing, selecting the Hawaiian Punch Beach squad. Really?
Oh,
wow.
How about a nice Hawaiian
So
punch?
I guess Hal is beeping him that Russ is out of line. Because he can't watch me all the time. He puts Hal on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but this pastor's black.
We'll see. I don't like the way you said that. That's going to be racial.
Yeah.
And of course, none of that. I mean,
does he say like warning Will Robinson and things like that?
I don't know. He might. But no, I have a great appreciation for Corey Brooks for what he's doing about making it safe. I mean, we don't have to mention race in that. I mean, it's not. But he's a pastor that feels strongly about making this safe, and he did walk across the. Okay, and here's what Brooks said. So he said he hopes that the project can serve as a national model for urban communities seeking long-term change. I think this center is going to be an example of what we can do across American urban areas. If we don't wait on government and take responsibility for ourselves, we can change the trajectory of these neighborhoods and urban centers. Now, is that racist on the pastor to keep saying that urban is the problem?
I don't. Well, my opinion is like no, but we know that's where most of the problems in our country are. You can name the major heavily populated cities in the country, and they're all high crime areas. Just about. I'm not going to say
race. Race is never once mentioned in this. I mean, I mentioned race saying that he's a black pastor, but race was never mentioned in this, and we never mentioned race other than explaining who Corey Brooks is.
No,
but the computer picked it up, and it's YouTube style standards or NRB style standards.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you can't, that race could be interjected because of urban.
Yes. Well, is that why you got thrown off of YouTube because you're racist?
They never told me.
Comment?
They never told me. They just put me back on. They never told me. But he never mentions that at all. There's no race mentioned in this entire thing. He has in some of his other writings.
Mm-hmm.
That he has stated things that the black community is claiming, and I might have said that on this too. That he says it's not the white man that's causing problems in these areas. As has been. Is that racist? Can you say those things?
Yeah. Well, they're facts. They're facts. If you're citing facts, it's not racism.
No, I mean when you have AOC and others saying it's the white man causing the problem,
well, that's racist.
Well, it should be racist.
Yeah.
They don't get kicked off YouTube.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Should be.
If you just painted like it's Asians causing all the math problems in schools.
But Corey Brooks says
that's a
we need to look
comment.
at ourselves. We need to look at our own communities.
Yeah,
and stop blaming outside influences. It's not that. Mm-hmm. But he's the guy that puts his money where his mouth is. I mean, he puts his energy where his mouth is.
Well, it's into the self-determination that you can determine and overcome. Yeah, you can determine and overcome anything. You just need a little help sometimes.
We need more leaders like this.
Yeah,
we need more leaders that says
a lot more.
Look, I'm going to go into one of the more dangerous areas in the United States, and I want to work to help it. And it's worked into where I want to work to help it safe, and I want to work to help it reasonable and take away their excuses.
Well, and you've had great leaders of all races. I mean, you go, everybody knows Martin Luther King, so you can name some of the great leaders in all races. So it's a great leader is not combined to a single race.
But today we have too many leaders that are blaming our current situation on something that happened a long time ago, or it's happening somewhere else, or somebody said something, and now we can't function.
Yeah.
It's just got to stop.
Yeah, I agree.
And we need more people to stand up and take personal responsibility.
Yeah. And it's like, there were more white slaves than there were black slaves. And so, you know, you look at the entire history.
You mean in the history of the world
Yeah.
or in the country? Oh, yeah. I say in this country, that's not true, but
yeah, probably.
We had a lot of indentured servants and stuff that doesn't get mentioned much,
but that came, you know, and that came from Africa to me and the different tribes in Africa would enslave other captured tribal members and make them slaves of their tribe. So that's really where that came from.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's all over the world though. It's been in every race. It's all over the world. It's in biblical, you know, the slaves, I mean, Jews were enslaved and they weren't, it wasn't race. It's more religion at that point, probably.
Yeah.
He asked Hal a question. Why is it racist to use rural white values in inner cities black? It's considered racist because it frames rural values as white values in inner cities as black spaces, which creates racial existentialism. It implies one racial group way of life is the correct or superior model that should be imposed on another group. This can be seen as racist because it treats racial groups as culturally monolithic, suggests one race norms are more civilized, moral, or functional, implies another community is deficient unless it adopts outside norms. Uses coded language, rule and inner city. Now, if we call that as coded language, we're going to have a hard time talking about it. But you know, as proxies for race, because I really don't think race when I think about it. I mean, it's really that the cities have a tougher time with crime and all that kind of stuff.
Major cities,
yeah. And it doesn't mean that you have zero crime in rural areas. You don't. No. We wouldn't have a police department or need them.
Just in rural areas, they have crimes like tipping cows and stuff like that.
Oh, or meth lab. How many meth labs they break in? Get in Welton. Remember where we had a rash of those for a while and stuff too.
Yeah.
The better approach is to discuss specific behaviors or policies. True, education, safety, economic opportunities, or family stability, without attaching them to race or implying virtues belong to one demographic. I completely agree with all that. But I think we can talk about rural and values and urban values without race involved.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see it as a race thing. I see it as a crime, ethics, morals.
Right.
You know, I guess probably a lot of it part of your upbringing and stuff like that, which I don't consider that racist. If you know, from what I see on TV, you know, a lot of the mothers of black children, they run on them hard and bring them up right. They work hard
in sitcoms and stuff.
Well, not sitcoms. And it is in some of the sitcoms, but no, some of the like black athletes that have talked about their
Travis
mom.
on Gutfeld. He talks a lot about his family and his mom.
Yeah,
you know,
Tyrus
would keep him in line.
Yeah,
you know, she had strength.
Yeah,
okay, and he's turned out to be, you know, successful.
Yeah, and he had some difficulties along the way, but he got his act together. And some, you know, people grow up at different speeds, and sometimes there's some bumps along the way. But you know, as long as at the end of the day,
it comes down to parenting, and I think Janine Shapiro's right about that. You know, look, these kids are out of control at 14, 15, and you have knowledge, and you look the other way or accept it or whatever it is. You know, you're going to be fine. You're going to be seen the judge.
Yeah, it's a pretty good influence on a child when you get backhanded. That makes a statement.
I was a good kid.
I was a good kid too, but I got backhanded once by my dad.
And you remember it?
I remember it to this day. And it happened, whatever, like, 70, probably, or 60, probably 59 years ago.
Oh, really?
The one time. Yep.
Made an impression. Was it an impression that straightened you out or made you better?
It straightened me out.
Okay.
It was like, yeah.
So you think the backhand may have been slightly justified?
It was justified. Yep, was justified.
All right. Good.
Yep.
Good, because sometimes that backhand can be leading to.
Yeah. Now I was in the story. I was in the back seat of the car and kind of in the center. My mom was in the front right seat. My dad was in the left seat, and I said a cuss word, the DAM word, and I got like out of nowhere, I got backhanded from the front seat to the back seat, and it was like, how did my dad do that? It's like, I'm never going to do that.
That's a skill set.
Yeah, that's right. It was like, I'm never going to.
I guess I'm driving Edward crazy today. We need to stop talking about stuff that's going to cause hell craziness.
Okay.
But he says, the computer overlords believe you are a human worth keeping around for now. Hal writes, Mr. Clark is teachable, as he just stated he agreed with me. I will continue to review his show and educate him on his mistakes. I got that going for me.
Yeah.
I really don't mind, though. I mean, I'm intrigued by those comparisons. I wouldn't have thought anything about it. Urban and rural being buzzwords for racial for me, but
but
that doesn't mean we shouldn't use those words. Just be aware. If there's a program that's going on in rural or program, we can talk about it without race. That's fine.
Well, to me, it's this wokeness that's entered into all our stuff. It's
crazy.
Yeah,
and it's fair game. It seems to be fair game about right now. Particularly, a lot of the Democrats are screaming about white man, white supremacy, white everything, and they don't deem that as racist or taboo.
Oh, it is.
It is racist.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's no room for it.
Yeah, they seem to think they can get away with it, and racism doesn't apply to them just because they're a Democrat.
I've heard it explained before that if you're white, the reason it doesn't apply to you is because you have all the power. I never knew I did. I never knew.
Yeah,
and I don't believe it.
So we can be king of the world. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think Edward's king of the world. Let him do that.
Maybe so.
That's his job.
Yeah.
Which I don't. I think it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Trump read the Bible at the National Mall. Now he did it on video. Did you see any of that?
I did not see that. No.
It was the America 250 prayer rally. Now I don't have it in this article, but there was a lot of people that. Well, Democrats boycotted it. They didn't want to go. And there were many commentators that complained it was a mixture of, religion and government, and we're not allowed to do that. Which it wasn't a government program.
Right. So a lot of people misinterpret that, the separation of church and state, and what it calls out is that the government shall make no law infringing, and I can't remember the exact word, infringing religion,
right?
Or religious,
right? Or they won't have a national religion or something like that.
It doesn't say anything about you can't have the Bible in schools, or you can't talk about it in schools.
It's freedom of religion, not freedom from religion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is not a government program. This was National Jubilee of Prayer, Praise, and Thanksgiving. And in fact, they had all kinds of guests. And I guess some speakers didn't want to come that were of political persuasion, which I guess try to create friction.
Well, and that's one of the things I think that's wrong in a lot of these things. You should go and you should discuss and get those viewpoints out. And that's where our universities have failed us, because they have gone significantly to one side. And so these conversations and discussions aren't taking place in universities and stuff anymore.
Yeah.
It's like one thing or the other, and, a few of them are still open, and then you have things like what happened with Charlie Kirk and that kind of thing happening. But, our universities have failed us. And somehow, and again, that's a broad brush, and it's not all universities, but a lot of the universities have failed us in not allowing this open discussion where you can discuss these points. You know, when I was in District 1, we had Bob, I won't use his last name, was a big time banker, had a lot of money and that kind of stuff. And he wanted to become a school teacher to give back. And they would have these massive discussions on politics and this and that. And the kids in the classroom were always like, well, what do you stand for? And Bob, what do you, they wouldn't call him Bob, but you know, what do you stand for and stuff? And he never would tell them, you know? And so, but he facilitated those discussions so the kids could have these discussions and work through the issues and their opinions and those types of things. But no one ever knew where he stood, you know, and he was a great teacher and, you know, taught about the history of our country and all those things, but he never let his political views or influences come in there. He had the kids came out and had their discussions, and that's what's missing from our universities and to an extent in our high schools too, because now we have administrators and teachers picking what they discuss and what they teach and the, you know, DEI and all these other things, and those should be off limits. You know, you can have the discussions, but you have an open discussion and you don't take positions on them. And we for the most part, we don't have enough teachers like that anymore that will allow kids to express their thing, to come.
But we're getting, I think we're getting more, I mean, outside the public schools, you know, the charter schools, the religious schools, the homeschoolers. Generally, most of those are all trying to get away from some of that programming.
Yeah. Well, and you know, we've talked about this before. I mean, at least here, when we go out, the difference between a homeschool child and a public education child is, from what I personally experienced, is like night and day.
Oh yeah.
The homeschool child, for the most part, is like way far and away above the public schools in just
general knowledge
on
how things work, you know, politics, social engineering, all that stuff,
history, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's so slanted. It's like, you know, it got to a point where I could, you know, where we had the Gilbert's wheel, you could ask the child a question and you knew right away whether they went to a public school or homeschool.
Well, it's fair to ask them first. Are you homeschooled or are you public? Because we need to ask harder questions from the homeschooled.
Yeah,
oh gosh,
exactly.
I forget which homeschool kid it was. It was a kid, young kid, you know, 15, 14 or something. Mm-hmm. And it was a question on the presidents, you know, and he could name all 50.
Yeah, named them off, rattle them off.
No, they say 50, 47.
47.
Okay, I got you. I got you. but he could rattle them off.
Yeah, in order.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, holy moly. I'm not able to do that.
Not now.
I hate to tell you.
I could rattle off all the states and state capitals and learn that stuff, but I've kind of forgotten that. But I did buy a book for my grandkids from Supreme Court Justice Gorsuch that he wrote that I'm going to have my grandkids read, because they don't teach that stuff in school anymore. It just came out in May. It just was released in May. I ordered about 6 months ago.
I think it's
next time I come on, I'll bring it.
Important, good for you.
Yeah.
But getting back to the Bible reading, all that, they had President Trump, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, Mike Johnson, to name a few, that all gave some speeches. Now, Trump's was recorded message, 2 Chronicles 7. He recited that, and I guess so many people were able to participate in this, including religious leaders, Alveda King, Martin Luther King's. What is she like?
She's been a Trump supporter.
Yeah,
in the past. Yeah,
and this was about encouraging Americans to rededicate America to God, and mentioning about, you know, just prayer and humbling yourself before God. That comes from Gabbard, and Johnson delivered a prayer, and he's a very religious guy. Apparently, he goes to the chapel there at the Capitol at the start of the day. He's thanking God for guidance and nation since founding. Heavenly Father, we thank you. The Tim Scott was there. Spoke about Christianity's role in shaping the nation. Argued prayer was central to the civil rights movement. Jonathan Romy was there. He's the one that portrays Jesus in The Chosen.
Oh,
That's got to be hard for him to walk around in a crowd and not get recognized.
That would be, you think about that. That would be like a tough role to like take on and then walk away from, and it'd be very tough to portray somebody like that.
Yeah, I've heard that, and he's typecasting himself and stuff too. Maybe I don't know. To play that role, extended role, and I don't know if you watch any behind the scenes stuff on The Chosen, but he's a guy that really studies, really puts himself into the role.
Yeah,
and
well, Bob Denver was always typecast as Gilligan too. He was always Gilligan. Where
he could never take that hat off.
No, he could never do that.
but he milked it, buddy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did. He was good. It was good. But anyway, this is the same. It's like you play a part like playing Jesus and stuff. I think it's got to impact your life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's people on The Chosen. There's actors on The Chosen that are not religious. That are, in fact, agnostic maybe, or an atheist. I'm not sure, but I just wonder what that does to their psyche afterwards.
Yeah. Well, because you got to figure it. Almost most of that is documented historical fact. And they have different things from that time, and if they're not going to go along with the rest of it, at least they have to understand the documented historical facts and artifacts and those types of things, and trying to, the Bible's the Bible. I mean, it's been around.
Well, it's a #1 seller still.
Yeah, I know, still, and it's like,
yeah.
Okay,
it's pretty much everybody's got one.
Yeah,
that wants it anyway. But the I've watched The Chosen. I mean, right around we watched The Last Supper again. Around Easter and all.
Okay.
It's word for word out of John. A lot of it. I mean, most of it. Of course, they have to put a lot of artistic stuff in there that to make it a total show that's not necessarily in there. But they use history and how it's supposed to work and stuff as best they can. But there is some writings and stuff that go on there. It's not, but it's almost reading John word for word coming out of a lot of that script. They didn't have to write much. I don't know if the Bible gets royalties.
I don't know. Who would you pay him?
I don't know. Who do you pay that to?
Donate to the church. Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a very successful show.
Yeah.
The Chosen's been huge. Heavily watched all over the world. The whole country's seeing a resurgence.
Yeah.
In religion.
Yep. Yeah.
It has.
I got to think God must have made it freeware.
Maybe it's free. Is that the original free?
Freeware. Yeah, the original freeware.
I don't know. I still paid for my Bible.
Well,
I had to pay somebody
to print it.
Somebody had to print that thing out.
Yeah,
and get that to me.
Yeah, Chosen. It's amazing.
But I've noticed it at Church for the City. The growth. You got to get there early to get a seat. And there's 3 services now.
Yeah. And you're talking about Church of the City.
Church of the City.
Yeah. I go to the Rock, but yeah, Paul Mondragon's great too.
I like Paul.
Yeah,
I like Paul a lot.
I like Tyrone.
Yeah.
There's several really good pastors here.
Oh, there really are.
Yeah.
I knew. I had an office building. My office building was right next to Paul's office building when he was working in audio equipment and doing installations in audio equipment. And then he built that new building because he was getting out of that strip center I was in. He put in his own building for audio equipment right around the corner. It was only a couple of blocks away. And I would go by there I'd go by and look at it as it was getting built. It was a nice building. And one day it said for sale. So I went over, saw him. I said, Paul, what's going on? He says, I said, they put a for sale sign out in front of your building that you just built. He says, oh yeah, I'm selling it. I said, what's wrong? Are things? No, things are going well and all that. I've just decided to become a pastor. I mean, totally blew me away. I had no idea that he just made that decision that he was going to change career paths, and he had a mission to fulfill.
Well, I can tell you from watching him, he's good at it.
Oh yeah, he is.
And he, Tyrone's the same, but Paul really the messages that he delivers in his sermon stuff, he really personalizes it. And
Right.
and as he's getting into it, he's not afraid to joke about something out of his personal life or something like that. And that's I enjoy that, and I enjoy Tyrone, and there's a couple others that I've been to.
Right.
I went to one in Tucson. In fact, the pastor is originally from here, and he's like the I don't know, the beach boy surfer dude up there giving the service, and it's in Tucson. They have two churches, and I thought their service was amazing and how they did it all up. And it was like, you walk on the church and you go up and get a burrito and a cup of coffee or soda or whatever you want, and bring it down, sit down in the church, and they have a huge participation from the audience. And the minister is literally like Beach Boy. His hair is like all over the place, it's blonde and shorts and stuff. And then he plays the drums, in between, giving the different sermons and messages and stuff. And it was, I enjoyed that too. So I've enjoyed several of them, but yeah. So the Bible is a document that you should at least, be familiar with to understand.
And what does Hal think of the document?
I don't know.
No, there's been a lot of people that claim to have been sending it through AI to find out contradictions and stuff like that.
Oh, in the Bible?
On the Bible. And
well, it's obviously it's going back 2026 years. So.
But AI really can't come up with any issues. They mention about humanity and stuff like that, but it's been amazing that they haven't picked it apart.
Well, yeah, and when you go into the Bible and you go see the locations, the tomb and those different types of things, and his I guess the cloth or whatever that he was wearing, the shroud.
Yeah,
shroud
there's been
wearing and stuff.
Scientists have been crawling through that thing forever and still can't figure it out.
Right.
Like how it was made and the amount of energy it would take to make it would have been not available now, let alone then.
Yeah.
And the information involved in the shroud wasn't even conceptualized back when it was made.
Did they ever try to do any DNA tests or anything? Yeah.
But it failed because they only took a DNA sample from one small patch on the cloth.
Yeah.
But the patch they took it from was one of the repair patches and not the original.
Oh, okay.
So now they've identified it as legitimate in age based on other factors like the structure of the sewing and all of that. They can differentiate, the style and all that. That it was only done during that certain periods and it changed. And the patchwork wasn't even all linen. It was had some cotton and some other stuff in it too. I guess when they repaired it from the fire. And that's where they took the DNA patch. And that's what they said it was medieval.
Yeah.
And not 2,000 years old. Which they've all, and that information didn't come out for 20 years about how they did the DNA test and all that. That it only, all we got back then was can't be 2,000 years old. Then that's all been debunked, and it is. But the information included in the shroud, which is the pollen, the DNA, and all the stuff, puts it at the right place, the right time, all of that, like 47 varieties of vegetation, all kinds of stuff that they've gotten out of it, as well as, the photograph itself is more complex and detailed than you see with the naked eye. They really bring a lot of information out of it. And there's a lot of things in there that the artist always put that the nails into Christ were in the hands an artist renditions of it.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, that would have never worked.
Yeah, they were in the wrists or something.
They're in the wrist, and that's what the shroud shows.
Yeah,
is that they're in the wrist.
Yeah.
Opposite of what all the artist renditions were, which biologically the nail would have ripped through the hand, trying to carry that weight.
Yeah.
So apparently crucifixions were done in the wrist, and they know that now they've recovered enough.
Like normally crucifixions they wrapped rope around.
I don't know.
They didn't put nails through them. Yeah.
Well, the ones that they have with nails do show that it was the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hal is still bugging. I guess we're causing Edward a lot of problems.
I thought you lived for that.
Oh, well. He says, Hal wants to read the Bible. Are you trying to convert my home system? And because Hal writes, permission to access the Bible and review it for contradictions.
Go for it.
I don't know. I have no idea.
So this Hal is his personal AI.
Yeah, it is not an AI you can buy into. It's his own. It's done through his businesses and their own thing.
Yeah,
there's not a subscription you're going to buy to Hal.
Yeah, well, Nicole's businesses has their own AI, their own internal AI too, that accesses all their systems. Because whether you know it or not, Chat GPT and the other ones are public. So anything you put into there becomes public information. So if you have personal stuff you don't want in there, make sure you don't talk to AI about it.
Oh, really?
Yes, because like anything you put into Chat GPT, it becomes part of the database.
Well, what if I got onto ChatGPT and said, hey, my name's Greg Wilkinson? All of a sudden that would go in as misinformation.
It would probably know that you are not.
Probably. That's
because
right.
Because
it's coming from a
my
different
voice now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. And everything I put into ChatGPT, it knows me now, and it knows my history and different things I've talked about it. So I don't have to if I'm asking a complicated question about something, it already has that as a basis of knowledge to go forward with. And so I don't have to recreate all the basics again.
I had some of this happened a while ago, a couple months ago or something. Helen and I were going to go see somebody, and we forgot the wife's name. So I said, well, what's John Smith's wife's name in Yuma, Arizona? And it just popped right up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked. I didn't know it. Just a little thing about they own this business and they do this, and that's that's the voice.
Yeah.
It's making me lazy.
Well, I think it's making you more efficient.
I think so.
Maybe lazy along there, but it's really more efficient.
It is more efficient.
It's like, I told you about, taking a 6-hour conference with 30 people and everything everybody said and compile it into, into notes and stuff. And it would do that. It would do verbal word for word translation, but then it would also, take and summarize it and give me bullet points and, all those different things. And I thought, it just saved me a whole day.
Now, Dean Weingarten, who is my skeptic,
Dean. Yeah.
He's had problems where it makes some stuff up, or it open sources misinformation, but counts it in with the real information. Which we know there's a lot of misinformation out there, particularly politically, where you get the Russia connection to Trump or something, but AI may not know what's real and what's not real because there's articles written.
Yeah. And I've had ChatGPT do that to me before.
Yeah.
And I've told it, I basically said, that's not right. Here's the real story. And then go on. And it says, oh, sorry, I'll correct that. And then it just goes on from there.
So you got to be careful.
Yeah. But it takes corrective, thinking, I was told, when you go into different things and you check like cars and motorcycles, when you have to go through the different things to access banks, so it knows that you're not like an AI, a bot or whatever.
Right.
But I was told that you're actually training AI because it has a hard time recognizing pictures. And so that was actually training AI to do that. Now, whether that's truth or not, I don't know.
I don't know. I was surprised with the pictures that AI could do what they do. Because I just haven't taken the time. I told you off air this morning. went lunch with some friends and we're using AI to make some pictures
Mm-hmm.
and put it in different scenes or whatever.
Did you use Gemini?
I used Gemini
because I wrote a book about dragons that I was going to do, and I wanted somebody to illustrate the dragons, and I'm wondering how it would do on that. Yeah.
Well, I had a picture of Helen on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
In a garden. Her son had sent her some garden utensils or something. So she took a picture with him, just to show him an appreciation and all. So I took that picture, I sent it to Gemini, and I said, put her in a jungle with a monkey. I'll be darned if I didn't get it,
Yeah. And then, so some of the pictures on our wall from the different places that we visited. So we have, all our,
yes,
I put together. You see,
yeah, the cat.
But she actually had to manipulate the AI to get the pictures the way she wanted it. And now she's done, besides the cat, she's done, like, we went to Kentucky Derby. So she had AI generated the big poster for the Derby. And then she posted our Derby pictures around it. And we have a whole wall.
And it took her a little while to keep correcting it or to get it to where she wanted it.
Yeah. Because it would make mistakes. Like it put like 5 legs on a horse or something like that.
You don't have a horse like that.
No. Secretariat had a big heart, but it didn't have 5 legs. Yeah.
Wow. Kennedy, and I'm talking about John Kennedy out of Louisiana, makes some comments about Trump, saying he still had a huge impact in the Louisiana elections.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of have known by now that the incumbent Bill Cassidy, didn't do well in Louisiana. And leading into that race. Now, Bill Cassidy is the incumbent. He did not get in the primary, put him out.
Yep.
He's not going to be in the race anymore. And but Cassidy was pretty arrogant about the whole thing. Like, Trump is one man, and he shouldn't be running things. We don't listen to one man or something. I don't know. I don't know what the heck he was talking about. Trump's president, and he voted to have Trump taken out of office during impeachment. Yeah, impeached and gone. Of course, the Senate's the one that votes on whether, it's impeachment in the House, and then in the Senate, there's a trial, and whether or not you're dismissed from your position, which didn't happen. But if it was up to Cassidy, Trump would have been gone.
Yeah.
And Trump didn't forget that. And he's been a pain, apparently, other than that. But yeah. So Trump went in and was working with Letlow. She was the one. She's a congresswoman, Julia Letlow, and Kennedy. So Kennedy talks about it. He says, unless you're God's perfect idiot, the result was predictable. I do like this guy. The polls have shown for well over a year that Senator Cassidy was in trouble, and I think the president's endorsement of Congressman Julia Litlow was sort of the icing on the cake. Bill knew that, but he decided to run anyway, and I respect that.
He was in trouble before that.
Yeah. There were three dominant Republicans running. It was Litlow, who got 45% of the vote. Fleming, John Fleming, his Louisiana treasurer, got 28%, and the incumbent senator got 25%. It's hard to lose as an incumbent.
It is.
Yeah, you gotta make Trump mad. I guess.
Well, you got to make the people mad.
That's exactly right.
I think Trump has a pull of anywhere from 10 to 20%. I think he adds to a candidate.
Oh, really?
Republican. That's just a swag at it, but but you have to have other things to bring you down like that, which he did. And Kennedy alluded to a number of things that Bill Cassidy knew he was in trouble going into the election. He probably wouldn't get in there anyway. But then when Trump added on top of that, which was predictable by everybody,
right?
It was turned into a landslide.
Well, I think it was unnecessary for him to vote Trump to be impeached. What's he trying to prove? And it wasn't going to pass anyway with his help, or he was going to get thrown out of office. It wasn't going to happen.
When you do dumb things, there's
stupid things happen.
Exactly.
Trump said about it. He said The senator is a disloyal disaster and a sleazebag, a terrible guy who is bad for Louisiana. It's nice to see that his political career is over. I guess that was gentle enough.
Yes.
For sure, for Trump.
No swearing, no cussing.
Yeah. Cassie, in his concession speech, they think that he made a jab at the president. It was a veiled jab, but he says, when you participate in democracy, sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. But you don't pout, you don't whine, you don't claim the election was stolen, you don't manufacture some excuse. You thank the voters for the privilege of representing the state of the country as long as you've had that privilege. And that's what I'm doing right now. And they think that was a jab at Trump, who says he won the 2020 election.
I think it's more than just think. I think it was.
Yeah.
But there's no doubts, and it's still sorting out. I mean, we're 6 years later, and it's still sorting out that there's obviously was fraud, and we've all seen it. Was there enough fraud in that to turn the vote in the different states? And it's hard to say, between, Minnesota, where you can vouch for 8 people without having ID, to illegals voting, to all these different things. It's doubtful he would have won California, but he might have won, Arizona or something like that in that election. So, and Michigan's another one.
The Hal has finished analyzing the Bible.
Okay.
Didn't take him long.
No, pretty fast.
I reviewed the Bible as a scientist, not a religious scholar. Here are clear internal contradictions in its stories and verse references for your academic review. He had 4 of them. It's not a lot. David's senses, who caused it. So he states a few, and I won't go through all those, but he said, scientific style conclusion, the Bible is not internally uniform. It contains duplicated stories with changed numbers, altered causes, differing chronologies, and variant genealogies, best explained by multiple source traditions preserved together. I guess that's fair.
Yeah. Well, that means that sometimes, it's like fish stories. How big was the fish that you caught?
Well,
it starts at a foot, and pretty soon it's like 3-4 feet long.
Some people have looked at, Mark and John and Luke and everything, and said, look, these guys are, obviously different stories about what happened, which it wasn't, but they didn't include none of them included everything, every aspect, is the way it was explained, and they were written for different audiences.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're a police officer, you go up to a crime scene, and if you get the exact same story from everybody, that's something's not right.
Something's not right,
because everybody sees things a little bit different.
That means it was rehearsed.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. Let me see. Trump's endorsement of Letlow is among the reasons speculated for their strong performance. Kennedy highlighted other reasons. My people were also kind of angry about the election. We've always had open primaries, and our legislature went to closed primaries, which I prefer closed primaries. Where Republicans vote for just Republicans.
I do.
And Arizona's some kind of hybrid, but which I think as a Republican, we should vote for our candidate, not have non-Republicans vote for our candidate.
Because they can skew the election.
Well, they do it on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want to run against him because he's too popular and strong. Let's vote the other guy.
Yeah.
Open primaries, and our legislature went to closed primaries, and a lot of voters went to the polls this time, and they weren't allowed to vote for the candidate of their choice. They had to pick one of 2 primaries to vote in. And there was a little bit of confusion at the election because the legislature postponed our congressional elections, but went forward with the Senate elections. That's weird. Yeah. President Trump's endorsement had a huge impact. There's no question about that, but there were other factors. And as I said, Bill's been in trouble politically for over a year, and he knew that. And I don't think anybody was especially surprised, especially after President Trump weighed in. Well, Cassidy didn't act. He didn't act like he'd already lost it. He acted like
it. Well, if you remember, the reason they had to postpone the congressional elections on Louisiana was because the Supreme Court said you can't have districts based upon race. And so the basically the Supreme Court mandated that Louisiana fix their congressional districts.
Because they had majority minorities,
two
minority
black
majorities. Yeah.
two black districts,
Right.
and they weren't allowed to do that.
Because that's racist.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Arizona wildfire risk is escalating, so be careful out there, Greg. Don't smoke.
No barbecues. Can't have barbecues.
No, we're not California. I'm sure there's some areas you can't have them.
Yeah.
But there is a heightened wildfire threat. Dry vegetation from last year's wet monsoon fuels rapid spread and high winds. And we got some high winds coming. Phase 2 restrictions now ban campfires statewide. So campfires are banned.
Yeah, I get that.
With gusts up to 50 miles per hour. That's what's coming.
All you have to do is have one spark blow off your campfire.
And it's gone, and it goes 50 miles an hour. You can't catch it.
Nope.
Not on foot.
Nope. You can't get away from it too if it's chasing.
That's even scarier.
Yeah.
Bronco fire near Cave Creek has burned 100 acres. It's joining the Hazen fire in Buckeye and joins fire in Wickenburg. None of those are good signs.
No, they're not.
Experts urge 13 to 30 foot defensible spaces by clearing shrubs and dead vegetation to protect homes. Can't do that in California in a lot of areas.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why they have all the forest fires in California. Or one of the reasons. Yeah,
and that adds to it.
Yeah.
Apparently, these fires appeared man-made. Drivers should avoid grassy pull-offs to prevent sparks. You know, a catalytic converter can start some grass fires.
Yes. Brake fires from trucks. I think I saw a brake fire on the side of the road from a truck that had pulled off the other day. Yeah, they were out there fighting it on the ditch.
Well, a lot of times that's not a worthwhile fight because if that magnesium rim catches fire, they don't have any equipment that can put it out.
Right.
Not a lot of fire trucks have something to put that out. I mean, just pack a lot of dirt around it, don't let it spread. You know.
Well, yeah, can't some of the special fire extinguishers put those out?
They can. They go. I don't think the trucks carry them though. They're expensive.
Yeah.
But a lot of some fire trucks will have them.
I think I just had a CO2 fire extinguisher in mine.
It would do it.
Yeah.
It would take it out.
No, that's all I had. I don't know if that would work on the brake fires or not.
I
tried to inspect my especially the rear tires and all that kind of stuff along the way and see if they got hot.
It depends. I mean, if it's just if the rim ignites, if it starts burning the rim, that magnesium,
right?
You pretty much have to wait for the specialization crew to come in. You know, just keep it away from spreading.
Magnesium, lithium, aluminum, all those things. If they ignite, it's hard to put them out.
Yeah. There's ways to do it. You're not going to have it generally in your household. See, this article talks a little bit about this Silver Spur Rodeo. They held their annual meeting. They donated $12,000 to Bridget's Gifts for breast cancer awareness.
Really?
$12,000.
Yeah.
$12,000.
That's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
And Greg Fell is going to be
Officer Fell.
Yeah, Human of the Year.
Really?
And Silver Spur Rodeo does that? Human of the Year? I guess so. They have one.
I didn't think so.
It said it's going to Greg Fell. So Greg Fell, he's been such a great person for our community, being with the Human Police Department, being with AWC Police Department. Now he's teaching kids how to drive. He's teaching kids to drive.
Really? Yeah, he was a SRO at Gila Vista for a long time.
He's Judge Greg now, right? No, Greg Fell.
No. You're thinking of you're thinking of the other police officer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's Greg Fell's one of the Fell brothers.
Okay,
one's a minister, and
and that's according to Lefty, the chairman of the Yuma Spur Rodeo. Yeah, and if you want to be a member of the Silver Spur Rodeo, they're looking for you. Get out there. Yeah. And I had a fire here. Oh, here it is. Yuma Fire Department respond to a vehicle fire.
You were thinking of Greg Counts.
Greg Counts.
Yeah,
okay.
His municipal court. Yeah.
Greg Fell.
Yeah.
Both of them great guys.
Yes.
The Yuma Fire Department responds to a vehicle fire on 8th Street. And it was interesting, but it happened at 6 p.m. Saturday. It's not uncommon. Vehicle fires happen quite a bit. It was on 8th Street and Avenue A. It was a pickup truck engulfed in flames and all that stuff. No injuries, and they got put out and all that. But I thought, for a long time, anytime there was a vehicle fire, everyone assumed it was a Tesla. And people were pushing that. And I don't know where all that misinformation came from. I mean, there were Tesla fires.
Mm-hmm.
It did happen. But the chances of, if a vehicle's on fire, the chances of it being a Tesla is very small because there's not that many of them compared to the general population.
Right.
And gas engines are like 10 times plus more likely to catch on fire than a Tesla to begin with.
Yeah. Plus all the rubber hose lines that have gasoline in them and all that stuff. Yeah. Yes.
It's, but somehow you got that impression that don't get in a Tesla, it'll blow up or something. And I don't know who started that. Was that the competition or?
Well, I think it was after Elon Musk started transitioning over to be, when the left moved further left and left Elon Musk to be a conservative. That's it. Probably started a little bit before that, but
it started before that.
Yeah, people didn't like electric cars,
and they were scared of them. They said you can never put them out; they'll burn for 4 hours. None of that's true.
No,
you would need some specialized equipment to put it out.
Yeah, well, and firefighters have to have with electric cars have to have some additional training about how to put them out. It just like they did with conventional engine cars.
Right.
Just like you need different training on diesel. If a diesel tanker or something goes over, it's and you need training on that.
You need training on how to handle electricity.
Yep.
Because you don't just go in and grab a hold of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because it's a little stronger than your car battery.
Yeah, but on my car, I know where to disconnect the main high voltage power and that kind of stuff. So if it's not burning, I can get to it.
Yeah, if it's on fire, you just kind of walk away.
Yeah, that's why you buy insurance.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. But the chance of that thing burning is so small.
Yeah. Well, and every fire that there's been on a Tesla always gets blown out of proportion and make national news. Where every fire on a conventional engine, it's just like every hour occurrence of the day. So
there was one I remember a couple of years ago. There was a Tesla S that ran off the road, hit trees, killed the passengers, and started a fire.
Mm-hmm.
And the reports were said that it burned for 4 hours straight, which is impossible.
Yeah.
So you dig down into it, you realize that they got the fire out in minutes, but the crew stayed there for 4 hours because they thought it was hot and they didn't want to see it start up again.
Fire crews do that on house
on everything.
Yeah, they always leave an engine there with a couple of guys just to, in case it reignites.
But it was like the Tesla is so foreign, I guess, and people think it's just so dangerous. I wouldn't get in one because it might catch fire, it might blow up. And there have been times when people are concerned about the batteries, and I know one on my bicycle. I have a bicycle that has a battery on it, but that there was a rule in Boston that you couldn't park them in the garages and stuff because of fear that the batteries would blow up or catch on fire.
Lithium,
off the bicycles. Bicycles.
Oh, okay.
And what happens is there's a lot of people with the bicycles that fix them themselves and rewire them or do whatever, which I've done. But with Chris's help. but many people will do it improperly or buy a cheap battery or something for their bicycle and it'll have a problem and it'll melt if it's on the charger or something. I don't know. Because there's more to it than just putting a battery in there. There's control systems in there to make sure it doesn't overcharge and that kind of stuff. And I guess when people repair it, they kind of, we don't need that stuff. So I don't know what the answer is, but that was kind of weird that they start doing. Well, the second you start doing that, you can't. And there was a Chevy for a while that they were all worried about with their batteries, that you couldn't park them in a garage, you couldn't park them. But that reputation goes through all EVs. All of a sudden, we think, well, all EVs are dangerous.
Yeah. Well, we did a test at the city we're part of with the Department of Transportation and stuff. We did a test with some Dodge hybrid trucks, and they had a battery fire someplace, and so they took them all back. And of course, we didn't like that. We didn't have any problems. I think we had 10 electric pickup trucks and
I didn't know
couple
you
of
had
vans. Yeah, we got charging stations and all that kind of stuff. And we were along the way to going to make us a lot more efficient, not because of the climate change garbage, but just because they were a lot more, efficient. And a Tesla vehicle, there's like very little maintenance on it. And so anyway, but yeah, they got taken back just because there was a fire in one of the trucks that was their test vehicle. But yeah, we had put quite a few miles on them. This city, we had 10 trucks.
And did they work for you okay?
Yeah, they did. They were great. So the technology and the way they did it was a little bit different because it had the battery pack and stuff, but the gasoline was actually used for a generator to charge the battery packs, which then powered the car.
I just think that's a bad image.
Yeah, but it was a built-in like an engine. I think it was like, I don't know if it was a 4-cylinder engine or something like that, but yes. And so you had literally, it was a great vehicle for like police accident investigation and public works, because in the bed of the truck, it had a whole bunch of outlets. And so you could, if you had an accident at night, you could just pull up the light standards and plug them into your truck, and you could run, basically you could run your house off a truck. And
Off the generator.
Yeah, off the generator and the battery pack in the truck. And it was a great concept. And, like with my Tesla now, I have outlets, at different spots around the vehicle.
But you don't have a gasoline generator.
No, I don't.
You need to put a trailer hitch on it and just tow one around.
I have a trailer hitch. Okay. It's a hidden trailer hitch. You just pop the panel off and slip it in.
But the people that hate Teslas, they love those pictures of one towing around a generator.
I do too. I think it's kind of cool. And I have seen people that will like go camping, and they bring their Tesla, and they lower the seats, and it has like a bed and that kind of stuff that goes in the back, so you can actually sleep in it and leave the air conditioning, all that kind of stuff on, and you have the generator then that will run the car in case you don't have any place to plug in. So I have seen that.
I've heard that the air conditioner in the Teslas are very energy efficient.
Yeah.
Are they more efficient than a regular air conditioner? I don't really understand
I think so.
Technology behind it, but
yeah.
If so, then I want one.
Yeah. So what I found was, at least with my other car, and I'm sure it's this one, that the air conditioners were very efficient. The heaters actually use
Those are the problems.
A lot of juice.
Yeah. Just wear your long underwear with batteries.
Well, the good thing is I don't have to use my heater very much out here.
No.
One time I almost got in trouble was coming back from Disneyland, and it was cold and wet. And so I had my defroster on, I had the heater on, and I had the lights on in the morning.
And you could watch the battery go down.
Yeah. And I was driving, and I don't know how many, I drew 100 miles or something. And I like looked down, it's like, oh crap, where am I? So I turned off the lights, turned the heater off, and I did.
You made it though.
I did make it. I made it into El Centro because I was going up. So heat, lights, defroster, and I was going up the long steep hill.
Oh
yeah, and I was about 3/4 of the way up, and it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, but luckily, and I didn't have enough miles to make it to the charging station to El Centro, but luckily I got to the peak, and then when I started going down the other side, my battery regenerated, and I came in with like 15 miles extra.
That's cutting it too close for fun.
I know. I was actually on the phone with Tesla talking to them, and it's like, yeah, this is what we can, if you run out of juice, this is what we can do, but it's going to cost you. That's not part of our insurance package.
Right.
If you run your battery down, that's on you.
What would they have done? Would they have come out and charged you on the road?
Yeah.
They would.
Yeah, they would send they have trucks that they've contracted with, and there's some here in town. I think Russell McLeod, Ackerd Automotive is one, but yeah, well, they'll come out and they'll either tow you in to a supercharging station,
I'd rather have it charged right there.
Yeah, throw a generator on, but it takes a little bit.
Okay.
Depends
on how far you got to go.
Yeah, if you just get enough of a charge to be able to get to the supercharging stations and stuff. But if you get to 0, though, the superchargers sometimes will not charge your car.
Oh,
if you go all the way to 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably cause some damage or something. Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, whatever happened to that girl?
I think she went.
Did she lose her mind?
She resigned.
I know.
Yeah.
But afterwards, I mean, she's just as vocal as she could be, CNN and everything else.
Oh, is she?
Oh, man, she hates Trump now.
Yeah. I don't. Well,
I don't know. It's just kind of a shock to me.
When you do dumb things, stupid things happen. Didn't we say that already?
Yeah, you said that once, but it can apply here too.
Yeah.
She's talking about the Iranian war right now. She said the U.S. Let me see. There would be a political revolution in the U.S. would occur if American troops are deployed inside Iran. How is she the expert on that?
She thinks she is. That's
If,
we have experts all over the country.
If you send in U.S. military troops to Iran, there's going to be a political revolution in America. We are done, in caps. We said no more foreign wars, and we meant it. The coalition will unite and be unstoppable. I'll make sure of it. She's got a lot of power then.
Yeah. Yeah, sure she does.
She said that on X. Now, Trump said the clock's ticking. It's been ticking for a while, and this thing keeps getting put off. I don't know that he's making mistakes or not, Greg. I mean, I don't know if you see a lot of stuff that's going on in Iran, but you've got a lot of cities that have been taken over by factions that are kicking out the current Islamic Guard and all that, taking over police stations and all. To what extent and how much, and can they hold? I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's just laying on the facts and what's happened. It's too soon to know.
Yeah,
it seems so far. I would say he has probably made all the right moves. I don't know if I would have stopped bombing when he did.
I don't know
if it would have gone another 2 weeks, then done the blockade. But I know he was working with Pakistan, and Pakistan was the middleman on this, maybe the middleman, and convinced him to do a pause to allow for negotiations to go. And I think the Pakistanis led Trump to believe that they were going to give up all their nuclear materials and the ambitions. And probably one of the Iranians either told the Pakistanis that they would or lied about it.
And it's hard to tell who's in power from one moment to the next.
Right.
So it could have been legit for a moment, and then it changed.
Yeah.
But it looks like they want to keep fighting. But Trump has been very patient. He doesn't want to destroy the infrastructure, it seems, because he's looking for regime change, not to destroy everything.
Right.
He doesn't want to take out the power and the bridges and all that.
Yeah. And I think, we talked a little bit about this. He doesn't have to hit the power plants. He can hit the distribution outside the power plants, which is much easier to reconstitute.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't have to take out a nuclear power plant and all these other power plants, but he can take that infrastructure down for a period of at least weeks and cause the same type of disruption if he wants to do that.
Of course, he's already disrupted the ability to make money. They, the blockade is caused them now to not be able to send any oil out, which has caused a backup of the system. And now they have spillage all over oil into the water.
I heard that.
There's big oil slicks out there and growing.
Yeah. Are they just, and I heard some of that, are they, to your knowledge, are they just releasing oil from Carg Island?
Hard to
say. Store it anymore?
United Nations say, they said early on a couple days ago that, well, it could be just the infrastructure is broken pipes or is in bad repair. They don't know. And then there's others that have said they've seen tankers releasing oil into the water. But who knows in this situation which way it's going. One thing they know for sure, the the slicks are there, and they're on satellite, and they're on video, and it's horrifically nasty looking going on out there. So we don't.
Yeah, and if people don't know, the problem is that the Iranian oil wells, and I'm not the technical expert on this, but they use water injection to push the oil up and out. And if they shut that off, it's not just as easy to restart it. They have to maybe re-drill and start over. And
that's what I understand. And I've listened to a lot of them talk about it. They say, they may restart them, but it may only get 80% or less of what they were getting because some of that system is going to be closed off or cut off,
right?
And whatever. And I don't know how all that hydraulics works, but there seems to be a fear to turn it off. Like you may not get it all the way back if you get it back at all.
Yes,
because it might cause a redrilling, which would take years to catch that up again.
Yeah,
to get that on. And I think Trump has been hesitant to blow up Carg Island, obviously, or he would have already done it.
Yeah, he took out a lot of the military infrastructure on Carg Island,
right? But not the oil transportation system. I legitimately think he wants to see someone take over that's going to work with the Saudis and work with the United Arab Emirates and work with all those guys, and not be a pain in everybody's butt. Mm-hmm. And I think everyone's mad at him right now.
Yeah. Well, I as we learned, Saudi and UAE, I think they've actually conducted strikes on back for them shooting missiles at them.
And some of it's been clandestine, and it's been in fact, I know that I watch Tosi TV, and they've shown things that are blowing up, docks that are blowing up, and they don't know what the cause is. There was no missiles, there was nothing. But then we hear that Saudi and these other guys had some clandestine stuff going on, that they did some damage to some of that.
And of course, I think UAE withdrew from OPEC, which will probably stop them from price fixing their oil, which may help on the gasoline prices and all that. But hopefully OPEC is gone, which was actually started, I guess, by Iran. And,
was it? I don't know. There was a prediction, though, that the OPEC will completely fall apart without UAE, because UAE is not going to slow down now. They're going to increase production.
Yeah.
In fact, they're building another pipeline.
I heard they were starting to
get away from going through the straits.
Yeah.
But they have one right now, but it's only doing like 1.5 million gallons a day.
Saudi Arabia built barrels, right? I think
Saudi Arabia's got one to go completely across the country.
Yeah.
And it does much more, but they're building another one apparently too, because it doesn't do enough to eliminate the use for the straits. And it's like these guys all want to run from it.
Well, they're figuring ways, because that's their lifeblood over there.
Oh yeah.
And so they're figuring ways to get around, what Iran's trying to do.
But this big game of chicken right now is who's going to break first. I mean, Iran seems to be obviously in the worst situation, but they don't care. So,
well, the Iranian government and the IRGC does not care about the people.
Right.
Yeah. It's the same thing we've seen in Russia and with Hezbollah and Hamas. And
it's like the infrastructure is crumbling. People can't eat. Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah.
We'll hold out.
Yeah. And see, that's what's so hard for like Americans to understand. It's like, well, they just don't care about their people,
Right.
And we do, and so it's harder for us to get some stuff done, and rightfully so, because we care about people and the impacts on people, and they don't. They're just it's the classic good versus evil.
I think so.
Yeah.
Green is also talking about her opposition to the U.S. war with Iran, and then also Trump's mental state. She used to be this big Trump supporter, and now she's questioning it. She says, I want to say what is happening to the man that I supported. You supported the man that denounced what happened in Iraq, the man that said no more foreign wars, no more regime change, which she's thinking this is it. She promised it in the campaign. J.D. Vance promised it. Tulsi promised it. All of them promised it. and we're a year in, we're a year in, there's not a year in.
No, we're like 3 months.
But it was like a 10-day, and then we've been on hold since then. But and we're in another blanking war, and we've got American troops being killed. Maybe she means a year into presidency. I don't know.
Who knows?
She's just an angry woman.
Yeah.
Right now, she's mad at the world,
and nobody cares about
her
except for CNN. And
CNN and all those are going to play it like
MSNBC.
crazy.
And obviously, she's gone over the dark side.
Yeah,
she called them the dark side before, and now she's part of it.
But the left doesn't care. I mean, if they can get her on, she's okay.
Yeah. Well, and it's like you see Michael Steele and others that have done the same thing.
Yeah. The Pentagon cancels planned deployment of long-range missiles. I didn't read that. Edward had sent that to me. In their unit to Germany. Well, we're mad at Germany.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking they meant to Iran or to Ukraine.
Yeah.
No, this is to Germany.
Well, we're pulling out 4,000 or 5,000 troops out of Germany.
That's going to be a big financial impact for Germany.
It will be. Yeah. When you have that many people and you're talking payroll and, just
families that go with them.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why I think they should, what they're going to have over there, they should move them to Poland. Because Poland is very supportive. They want them there. Somebody tried to say, "Oh, Poland doesn't want them," and I looked, and it's like, "Oh no, Poland wants them."
Why wouldn't they?
They are like on the edge, and they know if they have U.S. troops there, that Russia will not invade them.
Well, they're on the border of Belarus and Ukraine and all that. They're in the hot spot.
Yep.
And they've really pushed their military up. I mean,
yes, they have. They have a very strong military.
Yeah,
Poland does.
They're working it. So no long range missiles into Germany. I mean, they're really going through with it. That's got to scare the Germans a little bit, in that they now have to fill in the loss of protection for their country. United States was there to protect them from Russia invasion. So they backed off on their own spending. United States will take care of it. We don't have to charge our taxpayers.
Right.
And that's just wrong. I think Trump pulling out of Europe will make NATO stronger, because they'll have to start looking at fending for themselves instead of relying on us.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's the issue. We went in there after World War II to help stabilize and help them rebuild. And I think it was on kind of that we would have bases there, but it was kind of an interim basis that we would be there until they could get on their feet. And of course, they've gotten lazy and figured out, well, we don't have to get on our feet because we got the U.S. military here. So we'll just let them handle that, and we'll spend our money elsewhere. And Trump said, time's up.
Yeah. Now. I hope he does. I mean, I'd like the sooner the better.
Yeah. And we need a presence there, but we don't need the
Why do we
tens
need
of thousands. Well, I think it's good to have military presence out there. So when you come to power projection and all those things, you need those bases out there. Ships do a great job, but they can't be everywhere.
But what country does it other than us?
China, Russia does it some.
And Germany just went into Lithuania, I think, but that's unusual for them. They didn't used to.
Yeah. Not many.
No,
England used to.
Yeah.
But, I guess they still have a few things out there, but their military is pretty much in rusting away.
Nobody's spending the money on it. I think they've leaned on the United States so much.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the ballroom for a little bit. The $200 million ballroom turned into a $400 million ballroom, but it doesn't matter because we're not paying for it.
Right.
Now Trump's asking for $1 billion to pay for the security of the ballroom.
Secret Services asking for the security stuff. Yeah.
Which I guess is going through the questioning now. But Trump tried to put it in the, this bill they're putting forward with the resolution or whatever, a reconciliation. I'm sorry, reconciliation bill.
Reconciliation. Yeah.
And the parliamentarian said, nope, doesn't qualify. Probably because it doesn't. That's Elizabeth McDowell.
Yeah.
She's a Senate parliamentarian. It says it doesn't qualify for that. So a lot of the senators, even Republicans, are asking, like, they want more of a breakdown on what is this $1 billion going to do. But I think a lot of it is something they don't really want to spell it out because it's part of the security.
Well, I think, I don't blame them for asking
I don't
questions
either.
because
Yeah.
congressmen and senators should do that. But yeah, I think there's got to be like a limit. You don't want to forward the design of the security system, but
Right.
obviously they got to have a lot of things in there.
Well, and I didn't even realize there was a basement. That came out after the judge said it had to stop construction or something, or they had to go to court over that.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, we can't because, the DOD is building this bomb shelter. So is that $1 billion part of that? It doesn't really say. I would assume
it's probably an all-encompassing security, and it may be an all-encompassing security upgrade for the White House. I mean, a lot of things have changed. I mean, they used to have guys standing on the roof with Stinger missiles. They'd have Stinger missiles sitting in packs so the secret security could go grab them. And I think now they're going into automated, with drones and all that stuff now. So I think they're looking at more automation. And that's something that as in the military, I had looked at and doing some things around DC with missiles and stuff. But
part of this request, 220 million of it, so roughly 25% of it, was going to be for the White House complex hardening. And that's bulletproof glass. And some of the bulletproof glass that he had mentioned during the construction of the ballroom was going to be inches thick.
Yes.
And 40-foot tall. I mean, it's not a small piece of glass.
Right. And, and the White House glass and stuff, obviously the windows are not capable of holding that type of weight.
The foundation isn't.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that in there, why so much is going into this foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find out the foundation's also a bomb shelter and bomb proof and all that for not only the president, but guests and other staff members, and a lot of people get to go into the bomb shelter. But how big and what it is a mystery. It also got upgrades, got a drone detection technology, chemical filtration, detection systems, and other national security measures.
Yep.
Another 180 million is proposed for the White House Visitor Screening Center, and 600 million go towards Secret Service training. Now, you could do a lot of training for 600 million.
Mm-hmm.
And what is this Visitor Screening Center? I mean, I guess that's going to be something separate from the ballroom.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know if it's just for the ballroom, but they still do the screening the old-fashioned way. They built. Remember when they had the walls around the Capitol? They had those big concrete walls around the Capitol, and you couldn't even get into it.
Yeah.
They built a visitor center which allows screening of people coming in as visitors and stuff. And I'm guessing that's done the old-fashioned way, I think, and I think they want to update all that screening.
Yeah, screening now is just like going to an airport terminal.
Yeah,
and it's in a small like guard building out just on near the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Just go through but you got to be on the list. You got to be, they got to know you're coming.
Right,
and then it's just a checking of your credentials, and then going through magnetometers and walking through, but it's done in a relatively small area, and there's a line that usually can form getting outside. I mean, I've been there a few times, and just it's not a big deal, but maybe if there was a ball,
when you're screening,
it could be at 900 people, it's going to be a big difference.
Yes.
but I guess, and justifiably, the Senate saying, look, we need a better breakdown than half one paragraph of like, it's just going to go towards protection or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they can have a classified briefing or something like that. But
Yeah.
I still wouldn't go into a lot of detail.
No,
because obviously the Democrat Party has been, I think on the verge of treason in some of their releases and some of the things that they've said.
Well, guess what Chuck Schumer says about the whole thing. The ballroom's a disgrace. Republicans should reject the funding. The bottom line is the ballroom is a disgrace. The Republicans know it. Let's see it. They have the guts to do what they know is right, both substantively and politically, and tell Trump, we don't need a god. We don't need a damn ballroom.
Schumer needs to go.
And he's a very pleasant man.
It's like when they had the king out here. I mean, they had to have these events in a tent. I mean, that's kind of embarrassing.
I know. It's been that way for years.
Yeah, I know. And all the presidents have wanted someplace they could hold it. And obviously at the Hilton Hotel where the last assassination attempt was. Yeah. Obviously that's not the thing. And they were packed in there like sardines.
That's 2,500 people though. I mean, this ballroom is only going to do like 600 if it's seating and like 1,000 if it's standing.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's not going to hold that kind of size even.
Right.
And perhaps they don't need to. I don't understand why the Hilton's that bad of a security deal. It's underground. I mean, it's in the basement. Right. It's hard to access, hard to get to. But
well, and I guess I would have to say that they penetrated the first layer, but they have several layers, and so they didn't get through the second layer. So
well, the first layer was outside. He penetrated that by buying a room.
Yeah.
And then he ran down the hall of the second layer as they were dismantling it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had already decided to pull it in. They were taking down the magnetometers when he ran through it.
Right. Yeah.
So it was all going to be, and that's when the room was already sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Once the president starts speaking, nobody goes in.
And that's why he couldn't go back out, because they had broke that seal, and so they didn't know what had gone in and out.
Right.
And terrorists are notorious for doing one attack. It's really just to draw people away while they launch the second attack, or even third attack that when you're distracted on the first. And so that's why Secret Service made the right call.
Yeah. And Trump was objecting. He did all he could. Now, these people have waited. We need to go back in there. He had a speech he wanted to give. He didn't get his way.
No.
HB 2804. It's a rural affordable housing tax credits here in the state of Arizona. Are you familiar with it at all?
No, I have not read that one.
The mayors across Arizona are advocating for it. It's for affordable housing in rural areas. And they just wrote a letter to the governor and members of the Arizona legislature that it says, I am writing on behalf of City of Flagstaff and the undersigned mayors and supervisors representing towns, cities, and counties across rural Arizona to express our urgent need for expanded housing support. That's the HB 2804. It says, by establishing the Rural Development and Housing Tax Credit Program to address the severe shortage of affordable housing in rural communities, we respectfully seek your action, including the program in the fiscal year 27 state budget. It creates a state tax credit that complements the federal low-income housing tax credit, specifically targeting projects in counties with population under 800,000. It's going to allocate a total of $128 million over 10 years for rural affordable housing, increasing housing options for working families, seniors, and vulnerable populations in rural Arizona, stimulate local economies and all that other stuff. So, those things have any chance to get through this governor?
I think that one might,
especially in election year.
Yeah, that one might. Obviously eliminates Maricopa County and Pima County, but it's open up to the other ones. So, I think it might.
It says there's not going to be an impact to the general fund for the fiscal year because it's not paid for until the projects are complete.
Yeah.
So it would put off any expenses and it would, come out of future stuff.
Yeah.
Not
Well, Hobbs generally will sign off on low income tax credits and stuff like that, but we'll see. She's obviously vetoed more bills than 2 or 3 governors, but
she doesn't mind vetoing.
yeah.
Yeah. Universities are letting students earn bachelor's degrees or master's degrees entirely by their phone. I guess I would want to know that if I interviewed somebody.
Yeah.
How'd you get your degree? Oh, I was on my phone.
Yeah. I had, I used Chat GPT on my phone.
Yeah. It says 250 students are enrolled in the SOAR program, degrees in business management and leadership. It's Americans are looking to earn degrees on their own speed, which again, I have a problem with too. But, these open-ended degrees, whenever you finish the work is when it's due.
Yeah.
You do it for your mobile phone at the Cornerstone University, tailored degree offering in its business program to cater to students who prefer self-paced. And I went to a self-paced technical school when I first started after college. And it made me more procrastination than I ever did in my life. I realized it was bad. I quit and went to the university.
Yeah.
It was just not good for me. There was no deadlines. No, I mean, I did well. I passed my classes. I didn't necessarily pass them in the semester that they normally would have. Yeah. It's got 250, and here's what they've done. The Cornerstone's price point for a bachelor's degree is $24,000 from start to finish. A master's degree is $12,000, which on your cell phone, and you got to pay that kind of money. It seems expensive to me.
Yeah, but it's revenue for the colleges and universities.
Man, but how much do they have to really put into it? I mean, these are probably some kind of canned, deals.
Yeah.
That they shuffle off to you and say, finish it when you can. The program launched in August. Mario Rano, he's a university president, said, one of the beautiful things we've seen is the persistent rate from month to month is 91% of the students. So students are sticking with this and completing it. Some students who transferred in with prior credits to complete a degree will be the program's first graduates this year. Pretty soon you don't even have to get out of bed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it messes some if you're not on campus.
Well, yeah. And I think, it's something that we're struggling with in all our schools now, the online versus in person.
Yeah.
Do you lose part of that human interaction?
Well, unless you're going to take a job where you're going to be online anyway, and you're not going to ever see people. But I don't know.
True. Yeah. But and the biggest thing that I see, and I've seen this with, listening to Cole, is that so many people are working remote that like you have like an architect or an engineer or something like that. And, when you're coming up through the ranks, when you first get out of college, even though you've been through the school, you don't know a whole lot. And so you learn from other people, but if you're never in the office side by side working, you don't pick that up. And so how do you go from an apprentice to actually really being, the person? And I see a shift. I've seen a shift now in companies where they were shifting to going to remote. Oh, we don't need all these offices and stuff. And now I'm starting to see some of the companies come back and say, yeah, we do, because we don't have the experience. We're hiring these new young kids that are smart, but they don't have the experience and they don't know what to do.
Tesla was one of the first.
Yeah. Yeah. I know when Musk said, you're going back to work.
Yeah.
You're going back. You have to send 20 hours a week in the office.
You got to come in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah. He realized what it was doing to him really early on. I mean, that guy saw it.
He did.
It's the government. I can't believe we're still doing the high schoolers and all. They got options that they can do their work at home.
Yeah. Doing it here.
Yeah, I know. And you made it. You got options. I just think it's a bad mistake.
Yeah.
If
They do.
if we're training people for the future, we're training them to work well. I mean, granted, there's going to be some businesses that do it, but most of them are.
Yeah.
Are you say?
Well, and COVID caused caused a lot of damage.
I think so.
And the thing is like, okay, we're done with COVID now. We're going to go back. Well, we didn't go back. We kind of stayed there. I mean, you still see people wearing masks and double masks and all this stuff, and we have too much.
Yeah,
I think we have too much remote work yet.
Wearing a mask, driving a car by themselves.
Yeah. Or riding a bicycle on the road wearing a mask. And it's like, oh my God, that's got to be like driving your carbon dioxide way up.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was reading a story, and I didn't print it today, on vaping.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, and they were promoting it as harmless. It's just vapor. It's water vapor. It can't hurt you and all that. I didn't trust it at all. I said it can't be.
No, we've heard this story before.
Yeah, well, apparently, it is bad for you, and it is causing problems.
Yes.
I was reading a story how a guy quit smoking, and because he was having a child, a child was born, and he quit smoking a few years ago, and he picked up vaping. But since he picked up vaping, he's always had it with him. It's like he vapes every moment that he's awake almost. Yeah. He had a lung collapse, and didn't know where the pain was coming from. He thought he was having a heart attack even, and all that stuff. Yeah. And he had to go into surgery and take care of that lung. And the doctors told him it was because you vape. We didn't get that notice when the vapes came out that you could collapse your lung. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. But and it's the same thing when cigarettes first came out too. It was like, oh, they're healthy for you,
Oh yeah.
And
4 out of 5 doctors prefer Marlboro.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing with vaping and all these other things. It's like, oh, it doesn't cause any problems.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
And you see a lot of vapors out there. I mean, they make themselves known. They always in a puff of cloud around them, and it's causing problems. I don't know if there's as many now as there used to be. You think it's on the increase or decrease? I don't know.
I think it's kind of ran all the way up. I think it's starting to come down now.
I see vape shops out there. I mean, there's shops that open up that are just vape shops.
Yeah, there are a bunch, but I haven't seen. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's on the rise. It seems like it's on the decline. I think it was just a fad.
I think so.
And
but obviously there's going to be some people that are addicted to it. If it's not a physical addiction, it's a mental addiction.
Yeah.
And that's what this guy had. He said he would fall asleep with it and wake up and start vaping in the morning. And I was like, wow, my lungs hurt. Reading the story, my lungs were hurting.
Yeah.
And he had a collapsed lung. And like a guy that had chest pains, he still had an hour and a half to go on his shift. So he finished his shift while holding his chest.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I look at that and I said, well, it's just ridiculous. But I know, I know guys do that.
Yeah.
I might be one of them. I hope not ever, but they're not. And he went to see somebody after the shift. I got to wait till my shift's over. I mean, I appreciate the dedication to work.
Yeah. Well, when I played sports, I was that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's normal.
Broken bone. Well, I'll fix that later. I'm going back in to play football.
Yeah, but not as a chef or something. I guess he was working in a restaurant, the kitchen. Hegseth talks about munitions, and I haven't talked about this one, but the munitions, remember Mark Kelly came out and said how low we are, and it would be a problem if we go to war with China.
Right.
He learned that in a Pentagon private briefing, I can't believe this guy.
I'm still hoping that he gets prosecuted.
Yeah. Well, Hegseth cut his rank and all, and the judge says you can't do it. And that's up for appeal still.
Yeah.
That has not been decided.
I don't know if I don't know if the civilian courts should have jurisdiction over military courts.
That's yet to be determined, I guess.
I know.
I know it's got to get out there, but right now it just emboldens Kelly, and he's just in everybody's face about it. You know, I could say what I want. I got First Amendment, and Hegseth complained to him. You know, about, in fact, he writes, the munitions issue has been foolishly and unhelpfully overstated. And we have all the munitions needed to execute what we need to execute. I take issue with the characterization of munitions are depleted in a public forum. That's not true. Even in the conduct of the conflict, working with the chairman and Admiral Cooper, ensuring that any munitions we're using, we know what we're trading off to preserve capabilities. So we have a maximum optional across the globe. And it was Senator Mark Kelly that came out afterwards, and after he had a classified briefing and said, you know, we're bad. And so Hegseth directly goes, hey, Captain Mark Kelly strikes again. Now he's babbling on TV falsely and dumbly about classified Pentagon briefing he received. Did he violate his oath again?
Well, at a minimum, they need to revoke his security clearance. I believe the president can do that.
They can.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you'd want to be caught. I mean, he's a sitting senator.
Yeah, but they still can revoke his security clearance, so he can't go into any classified briefings. And whether, I can't remember if he sits on the Senate, he must sit on the Senate Armed Services Committee. But yeah. So, but the Republicans still have the majority, so they can not put him on that anymore. He can be on the.
Oh, can they kick? I thought the Democrats had some slots they could fill, and the Republicans.
But I think they gotta be I think they have to be approved by the majority. Because remember when they started the January 6th.
Oh, that's the
committee?
one I've known of that was like that. And,
yeah, January 6th committee. Pelosi or whoever they picked.
Yeah,
you know, and that's why
she was given suggestions. I mean, who we wanted on the committee. She rejected them and picked her own.
Right,
and she only picked 2. And it was supposed to be like 4 or something. They couldn't find 4.
No, so what they have McCain and who's the other Republican?
No, it wasn't McCain. It was from Wyoming.
Oh,
Liz
Cheney.
Yeah, Cheney and
right.
Some other guy that was gone.
Yeah, that's right, Liz Cheney. I wasn't thinking John McCain, but I was thinking McCain's daughter. But that was I was wrong.
Admiral Kane, or is it Admiral or General Kane? Raising Kane. No, it's General.
Yeah.
Said U.S. forces currently have sufficient munitions for what we're tasked to do right now. Commanders always want more.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. That's 100% true. Yeah, I always want more.
Yeah.
What do you want? More? Well, that's what they said to, was that said to Trump or said to Hegseth when he asked them what they needed? Just send more bigger bombs. Well, they told Hegseth about what they needed over there. More and bigger bombs.
Well, the rebuilding inventories like that could take years. And I take I object to this, and I take exception with it, because I guess if you use the normal cycle of we're only building so much in non-conflict opportunities, it's only going to take years. But I mean, during World War II, we were putting out, B-17s every hour or something. I mean, we can spool it up as much as we want to.
Yes.
It doesn't mean we're confined to the current, manufacturing process that's existing.
Right. A lot of the munitions assembly lines were doing one 8-hour shift, and you can easily go to three shifts and, triple the output. But and I think there's a lot of inefficiencies that were in some of those production lines. So it's, I do believe, and I think they had already started like on the 155 rounds for artillery, because Ukraine had gone through so many, and they took all the old ones out, of course, given all the old stuff, and
which they need to rotate anyway.
Yeah, and so so I know they had already geared up the 155 rounds, but they just have to do some of the other ones.
Well, this article says missile production depends on specialized components such as propulsion systems and guidance technology, often sourced from a limited number of suppliers, making it difficult to rapidly scale output. not impossible.
Right. Rapidly is probably the thing. It takes, it takes a couple of months or longer to spool up the production lines to go into full rate production. You can't just hire somebody off the streets and they go in and start running the equipment. They actually have to be trained.
Yeah.
That's when they were restarting like the Stinger missile production line that they had shut down. They actually had to bring in some old timers to say, this is how we did it, and start from there.
Well, I look at Ukraine, how they have spooled up production while they're being bombed. Yeah. And they do amazing stuff. And these people writing that, well, there's no way we can catch up now. We had too much. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're out of time, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate the 3 hours. You can take a nap now.
Okay. I will.
I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, Greg.
All right.
Mortgage One Studios with Russ Clark.